Hello and welcome back to Season 3 of Trails Through Trails, the podcast about playing the Trails series of video games chapter by chapter, game by game. I am one of your hosts, Matt, and he uses he/him pronouns.
And he uses he/him pronouns.
Yeah, I'm going crazy on it this week.
I love that. I'm one of your I'm one of your pronouns? Wow. I'm your other host, Lex.
Hi, I'm pronouns. The right's worst nightmare.
Lex uses she, her pronouns. I'm she and I use Lex pronouns. Like, what am I even saying? All right, but we're here.
I'm she and I use Lex Lux pronouns. And we are here playing another game in the Trails series, the final game in the LeBurle arc, Trails in the Sky, the third, because why would we keep the names the same for 3 games in a row? That'd be crazy.
I mean, if you're not keeping the protagonist the same for 3 games, why are you keeping the name conventions the same for 3 games?
That is true. Yes, it's a big change. We're playing the Prologue this week, the whole dang thing, because it's actually Prologue sized, which was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, a lot of these chapters are actually more reasonably sized. Not all of them, but like a lot of them are a little...
Of course, not all of them.
I think this season we will be having a few more full chapter episodes than normal.
Yeah, definitely, especially because, as we mentioned at the end of last season, we've moved to a fortnightly release schedule for this season, just because there's a lot of game in these games, and it takes time to play them, and then talk about them, and then edit that talking about them, and release it to you, beautiful listeners. That's right.
So...
We're objectifying you positively.
So we'll have bigger chunks, probably, and we'll have more sanity, so...
Yeah, that too.
Those are good things.
I mean, I love Trails, but I was spending almost every minute of every day interacting with Trails in some form, and
Yeah.
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid being one of those shows that in the 3rd season clearly forgets what it was trying to do and starts recycling plot points and killing characters just to keep it exciting.
Let's not fall into that hole. So, before we get into a brand new video games, Lex, how are you?
I am doing well. I have been playing some other video games. I beat 2 games this past week.
Nice.
That I also started this week, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
I played Paranormicite.
Oh, nice.
Which I realized that the reason I had never played it was because I always got it confused with this movie that came out in 2010 or something, Paranorman.
Okay, yep.
Which I've never seen, but it was like a stop motion animation type movie about a kid who sees ghosts, I think. But in my head, the names, I just didn't even fully grasp that Paranormicite was a totally different thing. I could not fundamentally get my brain to stop thinking that it was about that kid. And I haven't seen that first movie. I have no beef with that kid, but I was just not interested. But the second game was announced to that Nintendo Direct. I was like, you know what? I'll play the first one.
Nice. Although Paranormicite with a Paranorman aesthetic would be a very fun experience, I would think.
That would be wild. I do love the art style of Paranormicite, though. I do think it's beautiful. I wouldn't want to get rid of that, but I could see that being a fun experience. I do like stop motion animation, though. And then I also just finished today and started yesterday, a game called Murder on Yangtze River. Might be pronouncing that wrong. It's Chinese. It's very clearly inspired by Ace Attorney. I think in a lot of ways it improves on the formula, and I say that as a big Ace Attorney fan.
Okay. It's
set in China about 100 years ago, 120 years ago, around the turn of the century. It's a series of murder mysteries. It's really one of the cool things. Oh, it does a lot of cool things, but it's set in China, but at a time where the British have a heavy presence in China and are kind of a lot of stuff going on there. But so there's a number of British characters, and some of the characters go to London a few times. And so whenever the characters are speaking Chinese, the voice acting is in Chinese, and whenever they're speaking English, the voice acting is in English.
Oh, nice.
And that's quite fun. Regardless of what language you have the text in, it's diegetic that way, I guess, which is pretty fun. But it's really well put together. It's really, if you like a murder mystery, and if you like Ace Attorney, I highly recommend it. It was 10 hours.
I would hope it wasn't too long if you finished it in that few of days. Otherwise, I would be concerned.
I was up to 2:30, 3 a.m. because there was this this one chapter that was really intense story-wise and really interesting. The way it was it was the character trying to piece together something in sort of a dream, like a case that he hadn't been able to solve a
Okay.
few years ago. So he was kind of in his dreams. The idea is he keeps returning to this case over and over again,
Mhm.
but it was in kind of disjointed ways. So like he would be in one place in a dream and walk through a door to another room that was relevant to the case. The characters he was talking to would like all be reflections of him dressed as the other people in that case at certain points when he was trying to like game it out. Like it was just such a good sequence that I couldn't go to bed. I couldn't put it down. So I was up to like 2 or 3 playing that. But yeah, what about you? How are you doing? And what have you been up to?
Oh boy. What have I been up to? God, every time I start to list off the games I'm playing concurrently, I feel like I'm about to break into that Animaniacs song listing all the countries. So I've been, surprise, surprise, bouncing between a few different games. I did finish one. I finished Dragon Quest VII Reimagined,
Oh, nice.
which was a fantastic experience. There's still a bit of like post-game super dungeon stuff that I haven't wrapped up, but I'm just taking a breather because like
Yeah, fair.
I could go in an auto battle and listen to some podcasts, but I also need to not stare at the same game for too long. I'm on the tail end of Dragon Quest VIII, so I've almost cleared that one as well.
Oh, nice.
I have been playing more of Trails Beyond the Horizon. Man, there's so many Van sections in that game. I know it's his game,
Yeah.
but there's just so much Van.
I think the issue with the van sections is just that Edith, the city he's in, is so big that
Yes.
when you're doing your rounds around, like, there's always way more side quests in those sections. There's way more places and NPCs and stuff to check on. I will say his sections will get a lot more streamlined soon.
Good.
A lot more fun once it's more streamlined.
The section I just wrapped up, like the Van segment, at the end of the guide, it's like, warning, you won't be able to go back to these districts of the city anymore after this. And I was like,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah.
Because as much as Van is fun, knowing that I get to hang out with Reen and Kevin as well now, who I'm sure I'll get more excited to hang out with the more of third we play, it's just like, Van feels like my vegetables before I can get to my dessert of my sweet boy Reen. Because I played through the first, like, triple split, and I did Van last because I was like, I want to hang out with the other two. I've spent the last 2 games with Van, that's fine. And then it's like, okay, so you finish those 3. And then there's an intermission that's about Van. And then the next segment, it's just Van and one of the others. And then the segment after that is just Van. And then after that is Van and one other guy. And I'm like, oh, so I'm just trying to, like, stack all the Van sections together so I can enjoy the others in between. But like the Van games are great because he's like the grey guy, which means heroes and villains are showing up constantly. Like it's perfectly normal to like walk up to a cafe in one of these games and just be like, oh look, there's an enforcer from Ouroboros just like chilling.
Getting a Sunday.
Then you hang out and have a pleasant conversation with them, which is very different to our experience of them so far. Also, on the topic of Trails Beyond the Horizon, just an update on the Australia situation. We have finally been given an official release date for Trails Beyond the Horizon in Australia. It's releasing on February 18th, a full month after everywhere else in the world, which is shitty.
More than a full month, which is crazy.
So they announced that in a tweet, and that's the only place I've seen any information about that. Actually, was it even a tweet or was it a response to someone's email? I can't remember. Either way, poorly handled, Nisa.
But yeah, badly handled.
Australia, we need to like buy this game like gangbusters so that they remember that we exist and count and are of importance at all, just at all. It would be nice if this didn't affect any future releases, but that is good to know for everyone who, unlike me, didn't just cheat and go buy it from the UK store. Oh, the one other game I've also been playing, because I finished an RPG, so I need to start another one. I picked up Digimon Story Time Stranger. It just got announced for Switch with a performance and quality mode, 30 and 60 FPS, which is interesting because PS5 and Xbox Series versions only 30 for FPS for no reason.
Huh. I wonder if they'll patch those too.
They are, yeah. So the reason I bought it is because it was on sale and they've confirmed that that update will be coming to PS5. So I'm like, I want it to be as pretty as possible. I can handle 30 FPS. It's not my favorite and it starts to like hurt my eyes a little bit if I'm playing for too long. I don't know if you get the thing, but like I find if I'm staring at a game with a low frame rate for too long, eventually like my eyes just start to water.
I have the opposite where I start to get nauseous.
Oh, you dry out.
No, I start to get nauseous if it's too fast. If the FPS is too high. Depends on the game. Like in first person, that's worse.
Yeah.
In first person, I have to have the lowest possible frame rate, or else I'm gonna like. And even then, like I might like I've played first person games where I played 10 minutes and then went and threw up. Like it's really bad sometimes. But I have a hard time with high FPS. What I can't always tell the difference. I can't visually tell the difference. It's just I start to feel really hot and nauseous, and I'm like, oh, maybe this is 60 FPS.
Oh yeah, like I can tell the difference just because it's only because like if you go from 60 to 30, it's very easy to notice the difference.
Yeah, I guess I can... Side by side, I can tell.
Because I play most things on PS5. That's typically 60 FPS, and I'll always choose the higher frame rate, just because it's smoother for my experience.
Yeah, for sure.
But switching back to Switch 1, anything in 30 FPS, you'd just be like, ugh. Just like, takes a second for your eyes to kind of readjust and like not see that as like a very slow slideshow. But now the Switch 2 can do 60 FPS as well, so I barely need to think about it. So yeah, jumping on the PS5 and getting a game that only does 30 FPS when it is 60 FPS on PC.
That's so weird.
It's on sale. That update's coming. So I've been playing a bit of that. It's a lot of fun. The people are right. Like, I know Brennan and Steven was speaking on, I think, the last episode of Into the Aether about how it's like the new Pokemon for people who want a Pokemon that's better. And it is that. But also, I like that everything can evolve into like 6 different things because you just get to evolve stuff, or digivolve stuff way more.
Yeah.
And it's always a mystery unless you've seen it before. And so it's really fun to just like, yes, evolve my blob into a different blob. The one thing I'm learning is there are a lot of really gross looking Digimon.
Ooh.
Because I keep blind digivolving them and it's like, ooh, what's this one going to be? And it's like, oh, it's an orange turd, literally. And its special move is poop throw.
Amazing.
So I have like 3 of those at the moment, which is very problematic in different colors. But yeah, I'm having a great time.
I love that. That's amazing. I feel like there have been a lot of like other series that people are finding like, oh, this is doing what I want from Pokemon right now. Like the new Digimon, I've heard that about. Also, people playing the demo for the new Monster Hunter Stories.
Oh, yeah,
I hear a lot of people going like, this has that feeling of it, which I haven't played yet, but I'm planning to. At least the demo. I don't know. The full game is like $100 Canadian, so I might wait and see if it goes on sale.
I played the demo for that because I'm going to be reviewing it.
You're reviewing it, yeah.
It's one of those, again, great RPG demo idea. Have just like the first chunk of the game be the demo so that save data can carry over. I love that.
Love that.
It seems like less work than building like a whole unique demo. And I don't know why it's still resisted so much by studios. Maybe it's hard to do, I don't know, technical stuff probably.
I get it if it takes a long time to get into the gameplay in a game. Like, I get if it's like a Metroidvania and you want to have a demo that showcases like what it's like when you have a bunch of the different boosts and stuff. But like with an RPG or something like that, it tends to...
And it also, like a vertical slice demo, that's going to go through all the tutorials, and then when you start the real game, that's going to go through all the tutorials again. So it's just nice to kind of get that all out of the way before release day. But yeah, it's gorgeous. It's running in, weirdly, the RE engine, the Resident Evil remakes engine. So this game is running in the same engine as Resident Evil Requiem, which is about to come out. And it's funny because I didn't know that colors that bright were legal in RE engine. But it's beautiful, it's cel-shaded, like, it's all the same mechanics as, like, the 3DS ones that also came to Switch. It's like a rock, paper, scissors thing, which I really enjoy.
Nice.
Speed, power, technical, and then you have, like, a weapon triangle as well, where it's like...
Okay.
You have to match, like, if you're fighting against another monster and they're attacking you at the same time, it's like a face-off, so you have to get the advantage attack so you smack them down. But then, like, they have different body parts that are weak to different weapons at the same time.
That's fun.
Slashing, bashing, and piercing. So yeah, it's like 2 layers of things, and then cool moves and stuff, and it all just looks stunning. I am very excited to get into the full game. Because, again, you just go around, like, collecting eggs and finding out what they're going to be, and then grow them up, and yeah.
Make them fight.
Yes, make them fight. That's what you should always do with your pets, like, raise them for combat. That's not everything I've been playing, but that's a lot of things I've been playing. So that's about all I need to talk about.
Yeah, I also was playing, I don't know how you pronounce it, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, which is...
Oh, Eiyuden Chronicle, yeah.
Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, which is not the full, like, the prequel one. That was, I think, like, for a Kickstarter goal or something. I had picked it up on sale at one point, and I decided to play it. It's extremely charming. Like, there's some jank to it.
It's really fun, yeah.
And it's really charming characters, and it's like just the dialogue is really fun and charming, and it's I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Like, there's definitely some jank in terms of like the combat, but and some moments where you're like, why is it so slow to, like, when you complete a quest, it takes like 3 screens of like coming up with like quest completed, received X experience. Like, there's some stuff there, but it's quite fun. I was really pleasantly surprised. I'm almost done it, but I'll probably pick it up again at some point when I'm like on my exercise bike and want something to play that I don't have to think too much about.
It's a good little grinding game. The loop, it kind of reminds me of SteamWorld Dig, where you're like going off on little excursions to collect materials and fight stuff, and then you come back home and use it to upgrade things. Yeah,
it's kind of like an atelier without the alchemy itself, just with the like going to collect stuff all the time.
Yeah, and you get, little side quests to go pick stuff up, and you're slowly expanding the town to have more functionality and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the I think like 3 or 4 of the characters then carry into Aiden Chronicle proper as party members. Because I got Rising because I backed the Kickstarter for Aiden Chronicle, so I played this
Right, yeah.
whenever they released it. And I do remember at least one of them showing up and being like, oh, it's you.
That makes sense.
But Aiden Chronicle itself is a very different game compared to Rising.
Yeah, definitely.
Both fun, but yeah, no, I'm glad you're getting into it. The art in that is really beautiful, the way they've done the 2D, 3D stuff.
Yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. And then I started playing Third.
Me too, weirdly enough.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Well, shall we dive into talking about The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the third?
I think we should do it.
Let's doodly do it.
All yours!
It's new game time! New game time!
Yes.
It's the third. Different title screen, different title music. It's all very exciting.
Yeah.
I am, of course, playing on easy mode, because why wouldn't I?
I'm playing on normal. I think I played on easy the first time I played, and I'm like, no, let's try hard. Not hard, sorry, let's try normal.
Let's try hard on normal.
Yeah, exactly.
But as we open, it is half a year since the LibreArc event.
Yep, and about a full year since the start of FC, I think. Because that took place
it would be.
in 1202, in the fall, I guess. No, it was spring of 1202, but it was September by the end of FC, because that's when the Queen's birthday is.
Mm-hmm.
And then it jumps like a few months because Estelle goes off to train.
Yeah.
And then it's like
3 months or something, I remember.
Yeah, according to the timeline I pulled up, because now that I'm done Horizon, I can go on the wiki.
Ah, nice.
So I just pulled it up right now. So apparently SC starts in December of 1202.
Okay.
And ends in March of 1202. So the 4 months take place.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, because FC felt like it was just like a couple of days that were really busy, but that's technically spaced out more. And then second chapter felt like it took ages, but it was actually like a shorter period of time.
So according to this, it says that the prologue of FC is in March, but then chapter 1 is in June. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on.
Oh, that's a bit of a cheat. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to say June is when the FC starts and ends in September, because that kind of makes sense. Like 2 months is more like 2-3 months, like starting in like sometime in June and then ending in early September kind of makes, I can see that.
That kind of makes sense. Like that in the prologue, they become junior braces. They'd spend a few months like paying their dues at home before they then go off to the next town. Then we just don't need to cover them doing like lost necklace missions for 3 months before we go on to Bows was the first one.
Yeah, I guess it's that. But no, I think
I got it right for once.
You did. But no, I meant more just like the events of FC. I could see like 2 months of like the actual main stuff. It feels like a few days, but I could see like they spent a week at school at one point.
That's right, yeah.
It's possible that walking from town to town sometimes takes more than a day. Like I could assume that like they sleep more often than we see them sleep. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I go back to the hotel all the time to rest. Maybe each time you go back to the hotel to rest, this actually gets a new day.
Technically a new day, yeah. I always love that when it's like, quick, we need to chase after that person or whatever, and you can just duck into the hotel and like get a night's sleep. And it's like, all right, now let's chase after them urgently.
Yeah. But now it is fall. I think, according to that timeline, it says it's November of 1203, which makes sense because it's about 6 months after the LibreArc collapsed, as the screen says.
And we are far away from there. We are in the sky aboard the fancy luxury ship Lusitania in the Croizen province of Erebonia.
Mm-hmm.
The home of the city of Bereahard, the Verdant City.
Yes!
Which we'll find out about in a few games' time.
Yes.
Because absolutely it's not a reference at this point in the chronology of releasing the games, but this is where one of the major characters from the Cold Steel arc is from.
And you get to visit it a few times, yeah.
Several characters from Cold Steel. So yeah, it was just like a fun name drop. I was like, Croizen Province, who is that?
I know them.
I was like, I know that's someone, but which one is it? And then I saw Bereahard and I was like,
and it actually makes sense. I was thinking, because we're about to see in this airship, you have a lot of really rich, clearly like nobles from the Empire, like the highest of society. And Bereahard and this province are known for being like one of the big hubs where like the rich landed nobles have the most power and like there's the most class division and like the rich are really, really rich. Yeah. It has that reputation. So I'm like, it makes sense that it's above this big gala that's happening in that region, even if it's in the sky above that region.
Definitely very hoity-toity party, and I believe the implication is that most, if not all, of the guests are Erebonian.
Yes. And I think nobility too. I don't think there's enough people
Mm.
talking shit about commoners, I've discovered, that I assume only the staff are commoners here.
Yeah, so this is kind of a like lords, ladies, and billionaires type of party, it seems
Pretty
like.
much.
So,
Yes.
great vibes going in. We look around the ship and we see just a bunch of people wearing masks. This is a masquerade party. And we see that the host is making an announcement. This is a party for the Conrad Company, who I didn't recognize.
Well, I think we'll see by the end of this chapter why maybe he's not around in Cold Steel.
Yeah. But yeah, someone in the party, in the big sort of ballroom of this airship, which is very ornamented and beautiful. Apparently, it's that they partnered with the Rhineford Company, a much larger player in Erebonia, and this is a Rhineford model luxury airship.
We've heard of them a few times too, I think. And they're the ones who made the tanks that the Empire had that we've heard about before.
Oh, yes.
So we have heard them already in SC, that they make all those tanks that were suddenly able to work without ordnance in SC. They developed those to their weapons manufacturer, but clearly they do other things too, such as make luxury airships.
Yes. Also, one thing I really loved about this party scene is there are so many custom food sprites.
Yeah.
Just all over the tables. There's like a big juicy looking turkey and salads and wines and stuff. This is an old game with pixel art, so the scale is never quite accurate, but some of those wine bottles are about the 2/3 the height of the people at the party. So this airship's about to go off.
Cassius would love it here.
Yep.
We also see a character who we'll talk about in a second, someone very familiar, describing this Conrad man specifically as a merchant of death who made a fortune during the 100 Days War on the side of the Empire. So, sounds like he was a weapons manufacturer who was very happy to take advantage of like the worst tragedy in the world's history to make money.
Yeah, not a great guy, it turns out. This billionaire on his airship. Who could have guessed?
No, who would have thought? We are hearing this from a masked man who has very familiar hair and amazingly like a bright pink masquerade mask. Looks kind of like a butterfly.
Yeah.
There's like some yellow on the inside and then it's pink. And a yellow bow tie matching the yellow on the inside of the mask. I like that he's color coordinated his bow tie to his mask.
Yeah, it's very, it's queer-coded. He's wearing a pink mask. He's got a big single earring that you can see. Come on, buddy.
There's something very funny about how slicked back the hair is. Because we so clearly can tell whose hair this is, but it's not standing up like a green onion for once.
Yes, but it's still got those distinctive light green stripes through it. So it's very easy to tell who this is, even if he is just referred to as Masked Man.
Yeah, it's, can we just say it? It's obviously Kevin.
It's Kevin! Kevin is here.
Maybe that's the episode. This time we need to talk about Kevin. Maybe that's what we got.
It's time to talk about Kevin. Yeah, the mask is a sleigh. Well done, Kevin. He's here on maybe one of his less joyful missions, it seems, because he's being grimdark serious Kevin.
And very flirty Kevin.
Oh, yes.
With some random lady who he almost goes and bangs, but he doesn't have time.
Yeah, he's like, what will your husband think about that? And she says, shut up about that guy and fuck me.
Yeah. He's like, I want to go up to your room. I can't go up to my room because of my husband. Yeah, it's very much Charles being like, this is an adult protagonist this time, guys. Now, he's 22. He's like barely adult, but he's an adult. They're like, he's a grown-up, guys. Our protagonist's allowed to have sex now. It's not 16-year-olds anymore.
They're chatting about the ship. They say it's 120 arge across. It's 120 meters. No, wait, arge. Fuck, every time I have to look it up.
No, I think arge is meters.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, 1 arge is 1 meter, so that is 120 meters across this ship, saying it's one of the largest. It rivals the Arcee or something. It's real big.
Bigger than the Arcee, I believe, but not as fast or high tech. Like, it's not as maneuverable. It's more...
Oh, yeah. I'm going to talk about how fast it is in a minute when I get to that note. They also mention that for the party, there'll be a performance from Furlan du Ciel, not Arkanseel, Which made me wonder, the Seal Circus is kind of like Cirque du Soleil, where there's multiple touring companies, because there is one that's based in Crossbell that we'll hear about later.
Well, that's Arc-en-Ciel, and this is Furlan du Ciel, so I'm not sure, because that's Arc-en-Ciel means rainbow, and Furlan du Ciel means something of the sky. So it could be like that, but it also could be, I was thinking it was just a guy's name, like,
Oh, Sky Circus, yeah.
Because du Ciel is a last name in France and in Quebec.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't even consider that it might be like a company name, but it could be.
Interesting. But yeah, so I was just curious, is there like multiple like touring companies of this one greater operation?
That would be cool. I'd love that. We also see someone that you and I are familiar with talking to Conrad, Marquis Ballad. Do you remember Marquis Ballad?
Yes, I remember the title.
It's interesting seeing, we don't really get much from his personality here, but it's very fun when you see the names thrown around so early or see early cameos from someone.
Yeah, like obviously these are the prototypical versions of what these characters will eventually be, because we're talking about like 2 full arcs away, but they were laying some of the groundwork for sort of the construction of Erebonia this early on, because the Marquises are a series of titles. So it's not that your name is Ballad, it's that you are the Ballad Marquis at the moment, you're the head of this noble family or whatever.
Anyway, we're getting into Cold Steel lore that we don't need to know yet.
Yeah, we don't need to be there.
Briard also gets a name drop by one of the NPCs, which is cool.
Yeah.
And we hear some people talking about the Chancellor very angrily. Which we've heard mentions of him a few times. We've heard a lot about him when the Orbital shutdown phenomenon was happening and Erebonia brought all their tanks down. He was very much pushing for that, and he had all those tanks ready to go. But now we're hearing that the nobles don't like him. But we've got some nobles complaining that he's passed laws that led to their bank accounts being seized, or that are making it harder for them to lord over the commoners, that are making more equal, that he's just coming in and messing things up. So interesting, because so far we've heard people talk about this Chancellor and hate on him for very rational and reasonable reasons, that people don't like him, that he's a warmonger or whatever. And now we're hearing about him doing things that NPCs hate him for, and we're like, no, that's actually, I'm okay with you doing that. I'm okay with you taxing the rich, you know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting seeing that he's polarizing for very different reasons to very different people.
But yeah, after doing a bit of a tour around the ballroom, you can chat to everyone. Kevin's like, all right, it's time for me to like get going, and he just decides to leave the ballroom and explore the greatest ship.
He's got a mission. Yeah.
He's got a mission. But at which point we do see a flash of something, like, it looks like an artifact. It honestly, like, almost passed me by when it happened. But as you're leaving the room, there's a shot behind him, and you can see this, like, demon lord king looking guy flash on the screen for just a second, but he's gone by the time Kevin turns around.
Yeah, he's like human size, but his face is either an elaborate mask or like not human. There's like sort of a veil going on. Like, it's clearly at least meant to look like demonic or supernatural. Whether or not it is a supernatural entity or a person dressed as one, it's meant to evoke that.
Either way, they've disappeared instantly, which is very suspicious.
Very supernatural.
Kevin doesn't catch it, and he's like, that's weird, better move on, and just goes exploring the ship. I did like that as you move through the rooms, there's a library where you can, again, read one of the previous, like, collectible book series, this time Carnelia.
Which is going to get its first explicit reference later in this chapter, and we're going to meet a character from it later in this chapter.
Which tells me I probably need to sit down and actually read through Carnelia at some point. Oh, also in the library, I saw that there was a pair of Erebonians discussing the Orbital shutdown phenomenon, as it happened in second chapter, where it sort of leaked into the southern reaches of Erebonia at the north of Liberl. Am I remembering that right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's southern reaches, right. I think the city of Parm, or the town of Parm, was named as like the closest place.
Yeah. And when they're talking about it, they still don't know what it is or what happened, so it wasn't made public knowledge at any point what happened. They're just like, the same rumors that were happening at the end of second chapter is like, oh, I heard it was like a weapons test in Liberl or something. No one really knows what happened, how it was resolved. So it's just a nice bit of place setting. It's like, okay, this thing happened 6 months ago, and still nobody really knows what the fuck happened in Liberl.
There's no official statements about it.
Yeah.
They're even saying, like, my buddy says he saw a big thing floating over Liberl, but no one else said that, so I think he hallucinated. There's not even, like, an official statement that, like, yes, there was a giant flying city there. It's just, like, urban legends at this point.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Also implies the people of Liberl who all saw it fairly closely have not been going around talking about it. Like, it's clearly impacted Liberl a lot, but people aren't running around like, you're not writing letters to your cousin in Erebony being like, oh, look at all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, an ancient city appeared over my house and then it fell down.
Yeah.
Elsewhere on the ship next to the library, you also have a gambling hall,
You
which
do.
means that if it was today, this game would have never come out in Australia.
Really not. Oh, they say that it's part of a chain of casinos too, which is wild on this airship.
A chain managed, or at least partnered with, by the Rhineford Company, and the chain is called the Alicia chain of casinos. Not Elisa, Alicia.
Yeah. Alicia is the name of the Queen of Liberl.
Yeah, that was the other connection. So
That is interesting.
yeah, that's like an American company calling their casino chain the
Queen
Queen Elizabeth Casinos.
There's also some chests you can find in some bedrooms you can go into, which have some chest messages as our favorite thing.
Yes, good to have them back.
The first one I got was my favorite, which was, the treasure chest reveals itself to be a crafty mimic and licks your unsuspecting hand. Better break out the disinfectant.
Strong start for the game, yeah. I can't remember if this is one that we've seen before or like a variant of it. I feel like we've had one about it being a mimic, but maybe not licking your hand, which I feel would be more memorable.
I don't think we've seen that before.
Just another sign of a more grown-up game.
I guess so. Even the chests want to get fresh with us. Kevin's got game.
That was the only one I noted down as well. There's only like 3 or 4.
There's another, it's not a chest, just something I noticed in a room that had 2 chests was a man with his son. And the man is, the son's a kid. And the man is like, I spent all of our money up here so that you could have a taste of, you could have a first-hand look at how rich people live, so you'll dedicate your life to becoming rich.
Wow. Great parenting.
Really wild stuff.
I really enjoyed running out on deck because this early in the game, I'm still ready to talk to NPCs everywhere, every time.
Oh yeah, every time.
On the deck of the ship, there's off to one side, there's a Romeo and Juliet situation happening where her father can't know about them being together, which is all very dramatic.
There is one other NPC before the deck that I want to shout out because this is someone that it's worth looking to see if you ever see this person again. An NPC called Nielsen.
Okay.
Who is named without being introduced. Like, there's no introduction, just immediately called Nielsen. Who was talking about this passenger airship being new, but saying that, like, the sound of the engine is familiar to him. And Kevin thinks to himself, oh, this man, maybe he's blind if he's saying, I haven't seen this kind of airship before because I don't recognize the sound. But the fact that this guy is named immediately without ever being introduced to us, which is a thing Trails never does, is interesting. And I'm just pointing that out in case other people might recognize this person in another time.
I did notice that because he's standing in front of one of the doors that doesn't open. You sort of explore like the starboard side of the ship, but not the port side. Maybe because that's where it like engages with the dock or something. But he's just standing in front of a door talking about the sound. And when you come back a little bit later in the prologue, he's not there anymore. I don't know if you find him anywhere else. I didn't see him. Interesting. I will keep an eye out for him. Now, this is the point I wanted to bring up when we were talking about measurements. The reason I needed to check is because there's a guy you come across who's like horny for airships or something.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I love the Lusitania. You're so beautiful and wonderful. If only you could travel faster than your max speed of 1,000 APH. Now, A is arge. Arge is meters. That's 1,000 meters per hour. That is 1 kilometer an hour. This is the slowest fucking airship.
That's so funny.
It barely moves.
It just hovers. I don't think you can say that it has that speed. I think it just hovers and moves out of place enough as it hovers that, like, it's considered to be, that they treat it as though it's moving on purpose, but it's really just that it can't quite hover in place.
It's just stabilization drift. You could board the Lusitania. You know what? You could have a friend board the Lusitania for a party that's going from wherever to Bereahard, and you could walk there and still get there well ahead of the airship. Like, that is so slow. Calling it 1,000 APH instead of 1 SPH is so generous.
But I think we know this NPC too, because I think he's that guy in boats who just stands at the aircraft landing and, like, is like watches airships all day and just like shouts exciting facts about them. Like, I think I recognize that name.
Okay.
I think he's like this guy who's just this airship sicko who just like has nothing else going on, but he's just an NPC in like Bose or in Zeiss maybe somewhere who just like watches airships.
He's like the Zemurian version of a train spotter, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
An airship rider.
Yes.
Yeah, so I found that so funny because, like, another point where I had to stop is like, no, that can't be arge. Arge can't be meters. That has to be the tens of meters or something.
But no.
10 kilometers an hour is still slow, but no, it's 1 kilometer an hour. Truly
It's
wild.
amazing. Rhineford, what are you doing? You can do better than that. Come on. You can build an airship that moves and is big at the same time.
There's too much heavy gold ornamentation over this ship, so that's why it has to move so slow. It's basically like a freight liner.
If the society's got a giant airship and it can move, clearly you've got to step it up, Rhineford.
Come on, you guys are meant to be like technological leaders. 1 kilometer an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So we make our way around the ship. You can duck into those few rooms. Then you go along sort of the starboard deck of the ship, which is all pretty. There's like the airship weirdo hanging out there, and then there's like another couple a bit further up. And then we make it to the Marquis. No, what's his name? Just Conrad?
Maybe he's a Lord Conrad. I think he's just Conrad. Herman Conrad is his full name. I don't know if he has a title.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Mr. Conrad's room, which is being guarded by 2 guys.
The giant wine bottles.
More giant wine bottles, yep. They're so big. And then there's like smaller scale ones that are the actual size that wine bottles would be, so it's not a mistake.
Yeah, it's just weird. But yeah, Kevin makes his way past the guys guarding it. There's like men in black, they're called, I think, who are just guarding it, who... Kevin thinks to himself that maybe they're like dropouts from a Jaeger Corps or something, and they're running security at this thing. But he takes them out in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, he pulls out his priest coin, and it flashes, and they get knocked out. So I guess on top of being like certification of being a priest, it has like a roofie function because they just drop immediately.
I think in Doctor Who, the Doctor has like a piece of ID that is just like he can flash at people, and it's just whatever the most convenient thing is to like get him permission to go to things. This is like
the psychic paper, yep.
Whatever the most convenient thing his badge can do, it does.
Yep. I like that. He's got like the sonic screwdriver equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knocks them out, and then you can bust into Conrad's room. It's full of so much wine and other stuff, and you sort of have to find a series of hidden switches around the room. They're not that hidden. They've got a big exclamation mark over your head.
There's a decoy, too, that if you hit it, it resets all of them. You have to do it again.
Oh, is there? I didn't hit that one.
It's the couch.
Oh, there you go.
If you hit the couch, it undoes everything. You have to go get the other 4 without the couch.
Well, yeah, I mean, with all that wine in the room, if you're hitting the couch, you're not there to see his secret room. You're there for other reasons, I think. Gross, Mr. Conrad. But yeah, you push all the buttons, and eventually it reveals like a cabinet slides across, and there's a hidden safe door behind it. Very cool. Kevin uses his priest intuition and finds the keypad behind a painting as well.
I love that he's like, everything else has been the most stereotypical way that this could work, so I bet this is in the stereotypical place, is in the painting right next to the door.
Yeah, it's like, rote.
The one interesting thing is the password that it asks you for.
Oh, yeah.
The right answer is Orpheus, which was also the password you had to use on the Oriole to open a lock.
Right, because that's the name of their plan, isn't it?
They call it the Orpheus plan, which for some reason I forgot that when I was talking about why is that the password in like last season. I think I was like, I don't remember why. And then I was like, oh wait, duh. I think Rob messaged me. He was like, how could you forget the Orpheus plan? But yeah. Is it the Orpheus Final Plan? Yeah, the Orpheus Final Plan, which is their master plan.
Right, that's the big one. That's the end game in between all the other plans that they come out with.
Yeah, everything else is So the Gospel Plan was the plan in Liberl, and it was part 1 of the Orpheus Final Plan.
Mm-hmm. Because if there's one thing the society loves to do, it's announce what evil thing they're about to do.
They like naming all their plans. I do like that.
Yeah.
They can't just be like, this is the plan, and people outside of society have to know it. It's not just an internal code name either. It's like, no, this has to become like widely understood.
When you're breaking into the room as well, Kevin makes some mention about the toys being distributed, I think in reference to artifacts.
Yeah, like clearly the Conrad was in touch with Ouroboros at some point, and that's, I think, that implication is that the code is Orpheus because he's had a connection to Ouroboros of some kind. He's guessing he got the artifact from Ouroboros.
Right, okay.
Why he was working with them, we don't know. Clearly there's a tie there.
Yeah, and I was like, if they've got like crazy artifacts, like gifts of the goddess, why are they handing them out to this loser? And you quickly find out when you go inside the safe room and find out that the artifact is called the Fool's Locket. Mm-hmm. Which they describe as a forbidden artifact that lets the bearer pass all but the most obvious lies off as complete truth. Which, that sounds pretty powerful, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, but then why is Ouroboros going around trying to get Septarians out and about? Like, they seem interested in setting up scenarios and then seeing how people react, how people act in those scenarios sometimes. I don't know that that's their big idea, but they do seem interested. They're not always doing what will accumulate power. Sometimes they seem to be like, what will cause chaos.
Yeah, although I feel like this one was maybe more of a means to an end, because they don't say it outright, but the implication is sort of that Conrad has used the power of the Fool's Locket to get ahead in business. Mm-hmm. That's how he made his business successful and then partnered with the larger Rhineford company. So it makes me think that they were sort of like getting him on the hook so they could gain access to technology or information or something through that.
Yeah, it could be. That makes sense.
It's an understandable kind of risk to hand it to this like piece of shit and let him have it for a while so that he can cheat his way into like good business and then have resources that they can plunder. That was just sort of my thought going into that.
It's also so interesting that Kevin can look at an artifact and know it by name. Not necessarily every artifact out there, as we'll see later in this chapter. There are artifacts he hasn't seen or heard of. But it implies that there's like an index of known artifacts that are missing in action.
Yeah.
But that are like, whether they're things like whether you go through like historical records and are like, clearly this is an artifact that exists somewhere and but we don't have it in the church, so it's like missing and we have to find it somewhere. Like he looks at it and he goes, that's the Fool's Locket.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting to me that there's like an index of known artifacts that are missing in action.
Yeah. I also found it interesting that he calls it a locket, but the little sprite clearly looks like
a tiara.
Kind of a conch shell? Oh, you said tiara.
Oh, I was thinking like a tiara on your head. No, he said locket. I looked at it and I thought it looks more like a headpiece.
Looking closer, it kind of looks like the upside down U symbol that is the logo for Elder Scrolls Oblivion, but with a gem set in the middle of it. But yeah, just like at first glance, I thought it was a conch shell, because then that sort of relates it back to Olivier's one, which was also like a shell phone. So it's just like, are all of these ocean things?
It could be that like the sprite doesn't include the string that it's on.
Yeah, probably.
It just shows like the body of it, and it's just a big locket, but it glows, which means that it's active. As we'll learn later, that glowing usually indicates an artifact has not lost its power. Sometimes artifacts are like dead, they're out of battery or whatever. But this one clearly, by the fact that it's glowing, clearly still has juice.
Excellent. Well, what also has juice is the security system aboard the Lusitania.
Yeah.
Because the moment Kevin picks it up from the big Indiana Jones platform that it's on, the alarms go off, the door slams shut, and he is trapped inside the safe, which he doesn't seem too fussed about.
He's like pleasantly surprised by this. He's like, oh, look, there's actually a little obstacle. There's something fun to do. Like, he's almost like excited that it's not as easy as he thought it was going to be. It's like he was so bored. He's like, oh, it's cute. They did a little something. I get to play.
Yeah.
Can we just say, like, we've just been describing what's happening. This is a really cool and different way to introduce a Trails game. Like, it's such a different way to start a Trails game than what we've seen so far.
It's something they start to do more of. It's like an in media res start, where we're sort of beginning halfway through an event. In later games, they often do it where it's like, this is a flash forward to an event from later that you'll sort of circle back to. But this one is just like, it's been 6 months. Kevin's got other stuff going on. We're just dropping in at this point to join him.
And it's a heist, which we've never done before in Trails.
It's
like, really, this kind of traditional heist, like...
And it's being done in the proper heist way, where we're not getting all the information front-loaded about how the heist was organized, so we get to see it go wrong and pivot and stuff. In any case, after the door slams down, the men in black all over the ship seem to hear, so we get a squad of them who run up to Conrad's room, to the locked safe door. Some of these guards run up. Kevin's just kind of like, hey, watch out from inside. Like, it's a bad idea for you to come here. And then it's like, oh, okay. And some giant red energy arrows spike through the door, smashing this, assumably...
He's like, you might want to step back more.
It's implied to be, like a several inches thick steel door, but he just like buckles it with one shot with these ethereal red spike things. And he's like, hey, stand back. This is going to be bad for you. And he just keeps spiking the door until it's gone. Not a power we saw Kevin demonstrate in second chapter.
No. One of the men in black says that the door was specifically designed to withstand a direct hit from an orbital cannon. So that gives a bit of a sense of, like, just the scope of how powerful whatever he just deployed was. That, like, an orbital cannon's pretty strong. And Kevin's just like, boy, you guys have no idea how hard it is to hold back with that one. Which also is a little scary to imply that he's like, I'm not sure I can do this without killing you guys. I might take down the airship. Who knows?
When he knocks down the door, it's like, it's time to fight these guys. And Kevin, because he's the cool new protagonist, he's like, come get some. which is such a cool guy thing to say.
And he walks out in his normal priest gear.
Yep.
His hair is up and spiky again. It's no longer slicked back.
Yep.
He clearly took the time during his outfit change to also, wash all the product out of his hair. He mentions that he's not a huge fan of using that move, but he'll use it when he has, he'll do it, but it's not his favorite thing.
But we get into a fight with these 3 men in black who go down instantly. They're so weak.
Yeah.
At which point I was surprised to find out that we're starting at level 90, which is a lot higher than even I got to at the end of second chapter. I think I was high 60s by the end.
It implies Kevin was holding back the whole time.
Clearly, he's got more in his repertoire.
Either that or he's gone up 30 levels in 6 months. But given that we know he's been hiding some stuff, including whatever the fuck he just did to that door,
yeah,
you get the impression maybe he's been holding back in combat this whole time.
Because he was definitely holding back some of his duties and his cool sand-making guy artifact that he had to get rid of the evil pope. I've forgotten his name.
Weissman.
I
love that you're the priest kills the evil pope.
Yeah, that seems right. Yeah, so we're starting at level 90, which is crazy. If you didn't know that the Trails games don't cap at level 100, you might think, oh, am I about to get Metroided and have all my powers sucked away from me? I don't think that's the case. Is it? It's not, is it?
I don't remember.
I hope not. I swear, Cold Steel 4 or Reverie or something, you started at level 115 with some of them. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Kevin does have some very funny lines right before the combat, though, where he says,
oh, yeah.
They're you're a priest. And he goes, yeah, I'm a real priest. If you're interested in making any confessions, I'm happy to listen to them for extra cheap as a limited time offer. And the guys react, no, we're going to kill you, whatever. And Kevin's like, aw, I was hoping for more of a, what, you charge people kind of reaction.
You didn't take my bait, and I don't like that. Yeah, just another example that Kevin's not taking this too seriously. This is just a humdrum work day for him, basically.
Yeah, he takes everyone out. It's one hit, maybe 2, and everyone's dead.
Yeah. I think the only reason I didn't take them all out in one hit is just that he starts with 0 CP, so I didn't have access to my cross straight away, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Bonking them with his little crossbow, they go down very easily. After the fight, these men in black apparently know that he's a Grail Knight, aka from the Gral's Ritter.
Mm-hmm.
But at which point I was kind of thinking, Erebonia is kind of Germany-coded, and Gral's Ritter is, Germanic-derived, like a lot of these church names, right?
Well, yes, but remember, we've got other... I do wonder if, in this universe, German is kind of like Latin to us, in that, a long time ago, it was the language that was largely spoken in multiple areas. But yeah, because it seems like a lot of words have Germanic roots, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, no, it's just we're in, the skies of the German country, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Gral's Ritter could have some Germanic derivative.
Yeah.
It might be a bit German, is what I'm trying to say.
It could be.
In any case, they're knocked out, so their opinions don't matter that much. You have to fight your way back through the ship that you've cut through to get back to the ballroom. You can't deviate from the main path because all of the rooms are locked while the ship's in lockdown, funnily enough.
Yeah.
And all of the enemies are incredibly easy to take down.
You get some military monsters at one point, but they're also pretty easy. They just take one more hit.
Kevin's doing fine. He's level 90.
Oh, yeah. We learn a bit more about who these men in black are, which, just for lore reasons for people following along but not playing, you might want to flag this one. They comment something about, on the name of the Northern Jaegers. We won't let you go any further. Which Kevin replies, points out that they are not only an active Jaeger Corps, but a very famous one. And says, I get stuff's rough going for your country and all, but couldn't I ask you to just, I don't know, step aside? Which really offends them. They go, how dare you? What do you know about the hardships endured by our people? And they're like, no, this is a matter of pride. So the Northern Jaegers come from a specific country. They're not just random people from all over the place. And some shit's happened to their country, clearly. And I'm just flagging that,
I feel like there is another clue towards that, but not a link made later in dialogue as well. So we fight our way back to the ballroom. Nobody can hurt Father Kev. Oh, and then when he gets back, there's 2 guards protecting Mr. Conrad, who start firing on him. Turns out another thing that his coin can do is create an anti-bullet shield.
Yeah. It's the everything coin. It's a sonic screwdriver.
So that's a pretty cool coin. The sonic... Oh, I need an alliteration name. His religious wrench. It's not a sonic screwdriver, it's a religious wrench.
Kevin whips out his religious wrench and deflects the bullets with a barrier. The guy's like, get him dead or alive, and Kevin goes, oh, getting me dead or alive is too much to ask of these guys. He's very cocky, and very deservedly so, as we can see.
And I think we have to take those two guys down as well, or is it all cutscene stuff? I can't recall.
No, we just shoot them and take them out in like one hit. We don't have to do anything.
Ah, perfect.
It's not a boss fight or anything. It's actually kind of comes as a surprise.
Because it does feel like it should be like the ultimate boss fight of the section or whatever.
Prologue, yeah.
Yeah, you just take him down. Kevin gut punches Herman when he tries to retaliate, and then gets into his grimdark mode where he's like, hey, this isn't a heretic thing this time, so I don't have to murder all of you, but just, like, you're on notice.
Well, he says, because all of the other Northern Jaegers put on their gear and run in after he's, like, thrown this guy over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes, and the Northern Jaegers show up. He's like, you know, if this guy had been branded a heretic, I would have had to hunt each and every member of your corps down and kill you all. And he ends it with a, keep up the good work for your homeland or whatever. But just don't go giving us any reason to slaughter you in the process. Yeah,
I will also note Kevin basically reads Herman Conrad his Miranda rights, so this is kind of like an official thing.
Yeah.
He says, Herman Conrad, in accordance with the laws of the church and in the name of Idios, I am placing you under arrest. You stand charged with the unauthorized possession of and illegal use of an artifact. So he has to officially arrest him for using god gadgets, and that's sort of followed up on the thing that I thought was like, he's used this to get ahead in business.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that there's a lot of parallels between the church and the bracers in this world, right? Like, we've seen, like, they both play important roles in, like, diplomatic negotiations. You know, both the church and the bracers were part of ending the 100-Year War. They both are, like, seem to do a lot of things outside of, like, seemingly not interfering in, like, big government issues, but otherwise are, like, do a wide range of different things that are kind of a public service. Like, education is a public service. They do healthcare, which is a public service. Like, they're involved in a lot of these areas. And now arresting people, like, this is very similar to, like, whenever we arrest someone as bracers, we're like, in accordance with the laws of this jurisdiction and the Bracer Guild, you're under arrest for XYZ. Like, we've heard Joshua and Estelle say that a lot. So there's something kind of funny about Kevin having a parallel way of arresting people, but with different authority, he cites.
Yeah, it is interesting. But at this point, Kevin's pretty much, all right, well, I'm done here, and I don't have to murder all of you guys, so later. And he just yeets out a window.
It's wild. He just, I guess it's not as wild now that we know it's only going 1 kilometer an hour.
I mean, it's still up, and that's kind of a problem when you jump out the window. But there's a great shot where he just jumps unreservedly out through the window at the front of this airship.
With someone on his back. Like, with a bigger person on his back. Someone larger and heavier than him.
Just plummets through the sky until he is caught by an unfamiliar new design of airship.
It's going faster than 1 kilometer an hour, I'll tell you that for free.
Definitely. We cut back one more time to the ballroom on the ship, where the mysterious person has reappeared at the back of the crowd with his weird full covering and, like, mask that is maybe a demon face instead. And just says, that was quite a splendid show.
I like how this is your blow-blonde voice coming out.
Oh, God.
But our tale is only just beginning, Kevin Graham. After all, I have only just awoken.
Ooh la la, this mysterious person is mysterious indeed.
And they're called Masked Person. Their thing is, that's what their name is according to the dialogue.
Oh, I have a screenshot where he's, like, facing away from camera and it says mysterious person. So it must be when he turns around to camera and it changes to masked person.
I see that now that I went back, but it's when it's showing his dialogue over, like, the sky that the airship is going through. Like, it switched to masked. It's weird. But maybe it was because he's turned around and then spoke. So, but yeah, mysterious to masked.
The big reveal that you've gone from mysterious to mask.
Amazing. And then it's time for a title sequence.
Woo! What a title sequence. Big fun intro movie. Always good to see.
It starts with the Oriole, like, crumbling, like, falling piece by piece apart, the way we saw at the very end of SC. And something shiny and glowing is also falling out of it.
Yeah, we see that whatever this blue cube thing is that's very prominent in all the imagery for Trials in the Sky the Third is from the Liber Arc. So this is kind of like a follow-on event from what already happened. There's also a lot of familiar faces in this intro movie, just like
Oh, yeah.
from all over the place. So it definitely feels like this will be a real roundup game. A great hint that even if we're starting off with a different guy, we are going to see a lot of our old friends at some point in some capacity.
There's also a really disturbing image of a woman surrounded by fire, like who looks like she's stuck in a fire, like dying.
Oh, fun.
It's quite striking. And then we're back to some airship imagery to end the opening movie because it's trails in the sky, after all. You have to have airships all over the place.
You gotta. And at the end of that movie, we cut back to that airship that we just saw save Kevin after his yeeting. I don't know if they name it at this point.
Septine Church Grosvenor operated Special Ops Airship Merkabah No. 5.
There we go. I thought they named it.
They do.
It's very high tech inside, but also kind of ornamented. Lots of like silver and gold, which looks very cool. Also, it's got one of those like drop-down communication screens like the high-tech Arcee did last game. Mm-hmm. I love that like widescreen TVs are just becoming standard install for all vehicles.
Well, at least for the high-end ones. At least if you're an important person with an airship. Maybe not passenger airships yet, but, the Arcee, the Merkabah. If you're in the elite, you get a widescreen TV.
Yeah. Man, you know what I want in like a current gen Trails game is like cutscenes on an airship during travel like in Sky, but I want them to have like back of seat like mini video screens like you do on real airplanes.
Amazing. Nobody seems to stay in their seat for more than a minute on an airship in these games, so I'm not sure how much use they'd get, but I want to see them now. I really want that.
Yeah, just everyone sitting. Maybe that's how you get them to sit in their seats. You just give them back of seat screens that play Pom Pom Party.
That's why they invented movies in Calvard.
Yeah.
Oh, Pom Pom Party. Oh my god, can you imagine if instead of like whatever mini games you get to play on the train in Cold Steel, you just get to play Pom Pom Party on the train?
Yes, absolutely. I would love that. Sadly, we don't have a generation of iPad kids running the Merkabah, though.
Not yet.
We do have Squires Caesar and Marsha, who are manning the ship. Apparently, they are squires under Kevin. He's a father. He has squires because he's kind of a knight, being a Grail Knight.
He's a knight, a Grail Knight.
They call him out for not having enough squires. Apparently, he's not into having a support staff.
No, he's too much of a lone wolf. He's too much of an edgelord. We also got a little insight on something to do with the Weissman killing thing, which is that they talk about how little support he seems to like allow, and they say all we could do in that Salt Pail with capital letters Salt and Pail operation was transport the thing, to which Kevin thinks that was actually a really big deal because the last thing we wanted him to do was to catch wind of it and become wary of them. So presumably Salt Pail and turning Weissman into a pillar of salt are connected. That was his last big mission that we know of, after all, was taking out Weissman.
Yes, and because when he had that conversation with Weissman before he sanded him, Weissman even calls out that it's like, I can't believe they'd let you use that, in reference to the artifact he had on him.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
He also bemoans the fact that he didn't get to have sex with a woman. He's very sad.
Yes. He's like, I didn't get to bone. Tee-hee-hee. Not a thing you should talk to your employees about, honestly.
No. HR violation. Kevin.
But they say we're on our way back to Arteria to sort of put the Fool's Locket back under lockdown, like it's meant to be, being an artifact, when a red light off to the side starts flashing and Kevin just says, "Where is it?" So he's clearly aware of what this red alert light means. It's like, all right, where are we going? It seems like this is the bright red presidential phone, basically.
Yeah. Getting deployed somewhere else before he even gets home. But the widescreen TV comes down, and a Commander Selenate shows up on the screen. A woman we haven't seen before. We just get a still image of her, like still art. We don't get like a profile, like talking head.
It's like an illustration of her face. I feel like hers is one of the faces we saw in that intro movie flashing by at 1,000,000 miles an hour. There was a churchy lady, at least, yeah.
There's a different churchy lady that we see a lot of, but...
Oh, okay.
But no, this is Commander Selenate. Says, Kevin, seems like you did well. Give me the lowdown. And Kevin's like, well, it seems like there were signs of society involvement at one point, but they had cut ties before that, so we don't need to do follow-up in that respect. And Commander Selnate's like, okay, great, now I have a new job for you. I need you to go to Grancel Cathedral and pick something up. It's pretty urgent. She confirms that, yes, I think this object is connected to the Oriole. It sounds like, I think it's here that she says this was picked up from I don't remember if it's here or in a few minutes that we learn that it came from where the Oriole fell into the water.
They mention it somewhere in there, yeah. But yeah, she also says that she's assigned him a new squire to help on this mission.
A rookie.
Against his consent. A rookie specifically. And he's like, oh man, I don't want to take on a trainee, but too bad you gotta. The lady says you have to. And then Kevin makes reference to the fact that the Carnelia books are actually about Commander Selnate. Because he's like, she might have died in the book, but she didn't in real life, and she's just as tough.
And if only people knew who like the book knew that she's even worse in real life.
Yep. The squires say something about how they were a little confused about that being made public knowledge, and he's like, oh no, it's actually like kind of misinformation, because if there's a story about this literal person and it's a storybook and then someone like that really exists in life, they're less likely to believe it.
Yeah, and like if the Gralsritter, if there's a book about how like the church has a secret society of knights, then people will think that that's obviously made up because the church would have censored it if it were true.
Yeah.
So it's like weird like reverse psychology mind games with the public.
Yes, it's religious confusion propaganda.
And speaking of the Gralsritter, turns out that's the name of the prologue because we get a prologue title card here.
Woohoo! The Gralsritter, which, yep, that's what it's about.
And Kevin basically tells his people right before that, right? He's like, drop me off wherever's the closest city that has, like, commercial airlines that I can catch.
Yeah.
You guys head on back to Arteria with the artifact. Don't wait for me.
Good job. Keep it up.
So after the title screen, we cut to another airship, 500 Selge away from Liberl. So for reference, Selge is 100 meters, so that's 500 meters, that's 5 kilometers. So they are just off the border of Liberl. And I don't remember catching the name of this ship. It's not green like the one we were always catching in SC, it's blue.
The Gretna.
The Gretna, there we go.
And there's someone extremely familiar that we can see from a great distance.
Yes, we very slowly pan into the ship and we see a little pink-haired blob taking photos of everything with flash photography in the middle of the day, which is not good camera work. Dorothy, you don't need the flash in the middle of the day.
Thought you were a prodigy, Dorothy. What is this? She's photographing the birds flying away.
Yep. Taking photos. She mentions they can't keep up with the ship because they're not as fast as Sieg, which is just like the standard unit of bird measurement, I suppose.
True. And presumably the ship is also faster than 1 kilometer an hour.
God, I hope so. But yeah, she's hanging on the deck when Kevin steps out as well and says, oh, hello, Dorothy, it's good to see you again. And I love it. She's like, oh, it's great to see you, Father... and can't remember his name.
But insists she can, after Kevin's like, you forgot my name. She's like, no, I remember. It's Onion Graham.
The beginning of calling this man an onion, he's like, oh, yeah, I guess you can remember my surname, but not my name.
That's not a name, Dorothy.
It's like the least name, and my name is the most name.
Exactly.
Kevin is practically the name someone would use as like a stand-in for any name.
Possibly someone out there would do that. He does play along with it for a sec. But of course, how lucky am I to be named after such a multi-purpose plant? Which then, she tries a second time to get the name right, goes with Jasmine, and he repeats the exact same line, which did get a chuckle out of me. She explains that she was just in the Eastern Quarter in Calvert and had onion hot pot, so now all she can think about is onions, and I guess Kevin's hair looks like a green onion, so she can't tell the difference.
I guess. Good enough. It's a fun new nickname for him. So after that, he's like, all right, let's go inside and chat a bit. And he takes her to the same spot in this airship that he took Estelle to in the other airship. It's like his young woman talking to spot.
He's like, a woman alone who does not look like she should be out alone in the world. I might need to take her here. I don't think this is a person's boat. This young woman shouldn't be left to her own devices, and yet she has been. This is my interference corner. My DIY confession booth.
This is the spot where I talk to all women.
Yes.
But yeah, it turns out Dorothy was meant to go to Bose on like an afternoon trip for something, accidentally went to Calvard for like a week. And he's like, were you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, people just kept giving me money and food and accommodations. It was totally fine. I had a lovely time.
Get to the Eastern Quarter in Calvard, which is a place Matt and I have been before. So now I want to go back in Daybreak and see if I can find Hot Pot there.
Oh yeah, that would be a nice little just like hint.
Eastern Quarter, I think there's only an Eastern Quarter in Longport, so that must be it. Eastern Market, Bose Market, same difference. Anyone could make that mistake and just get on the wrong airship.
I mean, it's totally fine.
She didn't have a passport either, which is, I think, the funniest thing, is that, like, someone from the embassy came to her aid while she was floundering in line at customs, I guess, 'cause she didn't have a passport.
She's like, oh yeah, it was totally fine. I went to the embassy and they just gave me a temporary passport. You are too blessed, Dorothy.
Yeah, how is like life so easy for you? Are you secretly super competent and just faking it all this time? Did you get like blessings from a fairy as a baby?
I mean, who knows? I did have a wander around the ship because this is another one of those instances where you've got to talk to every NPC before the story will advance. A couple of familiar faces in there.
Yes.
Murano from the Bose Market is there with her employee or assistant, Simon.
Yeah.
They've been apparently on some like business deal trip and she did a really good job.
Yeah, she's always seems to be in another city doing some sort of tricky business deal that Simon complains about. So she's still up to her old tricks. Good to know.
There's a parent sitting there with her kid going, I want to go on the deck. Can we go run around? Can we go? Can we go? Can we go? That mum, I think, wants the back of seat screens for sure.
She's begging for the invention of the iPad.
It's like, please sit down.
We go on the deck, even though the girl can't.
Mm-hmm. And who do we find there but Roland's favourite lovebirds, Armand and Ellie.
The alley couple.
Who have been on a 6-month honeymoon touring around the world.
Yeah. How can they afford this?
I don't know, because also Armand's talking about buying a house.
They spent the year previous to their marriage traveling around, I'm pretty sure. Like, because all we saw is them traveling around the borough. So they were traveling for a year before they got married. They got married, which is not cheap.
Traveled for another 6 months. Yep.
They've spent 6 months, and now he's planning to buy a home. And then something about what Ellie says, she's like, hee, I can't believe he's already thinking of finding a place for us to live. I'm like, bitch, you guys don't have a place to live? Like, at first I thought you were just talking about, like, home ownership as opposed to, like, you're technically homeless. Like, what?
I mean, maybe they sold all their assets to go on this long trip. But also, like, the fact that they were able to afford a wedding and travel and think about a house tells me this is a game that was released in the 90s, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine being able to afford any one of those things. Crazy.
But yeah, and I love how Ellie's like, I can't believe he's thinking about a place for us to live. And I'm like, are you not thinking about a place to live?
Are you just going to sleep in that alley where you met?
What's going on?
Oh, also, up on the top floor of the airship, I found a pair who aren't named, but I'm pretty sure that it's Anton and his friend, because it's the same sprites.
I thought so, but then the conversation, it doesn't track it because it's somebody coming from Calvert who got rejected from the Verne Company who's now going to go to Zeiss to try and brush up on his tech knowledge.
That was kind of why I thought it was Anton, because like his whole thing throughout the series is constantly pivoting from one thing to another.
But it's always romantic, isn't it?
It's mostly romantic. I feel like in the Cold Steel arc, there was like a period where all of his dialogue was about, it's like, this is how I'm going to find purpose in my life. No, this is how I'm going to find purpose in my life. So I just thought it was Anton and what's his friend's name? I couldn't remember. Ricky.
I'm not sure it is. This is a tentative lover boy in the burl. Because I don't think he failed to get into Verne and then came back to study. But I mean, maybe that could be. It would be fun if it was.
It's been 6 months. Who knows what he's up to?
Who knows what he's up to? It would be fun if that was additional lore. Someone I found on the top floor that was fun was a woman.
Oh yeah.
Who was coming back to Liberl because of the setting of the dragon, and she mentions that she used to go talk to Lyndon, that guy from Bose, who was telling us about the ancient dragon way back in FC. And I mean, in SC he was around too, but she's some sort of researcher. Some
fellow dragon sicko. I like that, and it seems like she will come back into play because she is a unique sprite. She has like an orange plait, which I don't really remember seeing on any other characters.
Yeah. We also learned that Dorothy's childhood dream was to grow up to become a phantom thief.
Yes, that's right, because she's in the cockpit bothering the captain, saying, what did you want to be when you grow up?
Captain, he's about to land this airship, by the way. Like, he's not, like, just cruising for the whole thing. He's, like, 30 minutes to landing. She's like, let's go bother him.
And he's like, this isn't important right now. I can't let her know that I wanted to be a pastry chef.
I'm too tough for that.
At which point, I kind of, like, took a step back, look at his outfit. He's basically dressed as a pastry chef. He's got a white jacket, a tall white hat, and a red kerchief.
Who do you think you're fooling?
It's like, yeah, really? Shocker.
But we land eventually. We safely land despite Dorothy's
influence. Yeah.
I mean, she says she wants to be a phantom thief. She manages to somehow have everything go her way easily with the passport and finding money no matter what. Like, maybe she is a double agent of some kind after all. And she was trying to crash this plane. Maybe she's...
the long game, yeah.
Heated rivalry. No.
In any case, when we arrive in the city, I did like that as the ship is landing, we pan past the Arcee, which is in the docks.
Yes.
Just kind of hanging out. And then we are in the city.
And Dorothy's got some feminist wisdom to tell us
Yep.
that all the people of the borough are doing okay despite all the chaos that happened 6 months ago because they have a queen, and everyone knows that women are tough in the face of adversity.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, this is because we're a matriarchy, Kevin. All matriarchies would be fine after chaos. It's only patriarchies that fall apart. There's a lot. It's not much of a matriarchy given how many misogynists there are. It's not that. Clearly, it's not as well entrenched, but she's like, yeah.
She's getting there.
She's working on it.
As they're sort of like getting ready to leave the ship, Dorothy asks Kevin where he's from, basically. And he's like, well, I'm based in Arteria, the holy city, but I'm from ... at which point Niall interrupts.
Yeah.
Dashing in to find out what the fuck's been going on with Dorothy, so we don't get a backstory reveal for Kevin.
Not yet. Niall's clearly been worried sick about Dorothy and is also frustrated as hell with her, understandably. She missed his birthday, but bought herself a cake and took a picture of it for Kevin. And she thanks him for being born. Like, she's like, thank you for your birthday because I had a great cake in its honor. I took a picture for you.
You know, it's the thought that counts, right? But she gets shuffled off, and then as they're leaving, we get an update on the locations of a bunch of people. Or some people at least. We know that Estelle and Joshua are abroad. Mm-hmm. So they're out of LaBelle, but that's kind of all we know. And then Lieutenant Colonel Sid arrives to say hello.
Yeah.
Soon to be full Colonel Sid, apparently.
Full Colonel.
And he's going to take us to go meet someone in the Cathedral for the 411 on what's going on with this Oriole-related object. Mm-hmm. And there's someone there waiting to meet us. So I automatically assumed this was the rookie squire we're about to meet, but I was wrong. It's a different person. It's a blonde lady. And I love her already.
She both drives me crazy and entertains me. We'll see. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
Woman in White is her first name. She mocks Kevin for being young. Mocks the Grosritter for having such young employees. Accuses him of trying to steal something she worked hard to dig up. Gets mad at being called Professor Russell because that's the old coot. At which point we figure out that she is Cheetah's mother and Professor Russell's daughter, Erica Russell.
Erica Russell, who the only thing we've seen of her before was like a shoulders down illustration in the end credits of second chapter. I don't think we even see her face design when she's reuniting with Teoh.
No, we haven't seen her before. And her face design does look a little more modern than, like, there's something about the look of her face that looks like it was drawn a little later.
It's a bit more proportionate, I would say. The art from early Sky games is a bit I just bought a how to draw manga instruction book.
But it's also a bit smoothed over, I find, in her art. It's a little like the face is little, everything's very like smoothed over looking.
Yeah, like the color work is a lot more detailed in like the shine of her hair and stuff as well. Mm-hmm. And like she's definitely more expressive in her individual portraits as well. There's one where she's kind of like, the fuck do you mean?
It is a funny one.
That I really like, sort of half-lidded eyes with the angry eyebrows. I fell in love with her because she's kind of a bitch, but in a really fun way. She's just like, I love science. You're trying to take my science away from me. And such a good contrast against Teeter as well.
I think I would like her more if I didn't know her already from, like, when I first met her, she was being so annoying towards Agate for, like, 10 minutes straight. That to the point that I was like, oh my god, give it up. You see your daughter once a year. Don't be high and mighty. I really like her, except when the subject of Teeter comes up, and then she just becomes a bit of a crazy person.
Yeah, her other defining character trait is that she has a cuteness fetish. So that's kind of where I was like, all right. But I'd like her as just kind of like this hard-ass scientist.
Yes.
Who is such a great contrast to her lovely, lovely daughter.
Yes.
You know when, like, a child grows up with the aim of, I'm going to be nothing like my parents. It's a bit of that.
It is definitely a bit of that. There's also a bit of, I get a little annoyed, because she goes on and on about how annoyed she is with her father for Teeter ending up on that airship and for not. And I get that on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm like, you see your daughter once a year. Like, according to her last game, she sees her parents once a year and gets a letter from you once a month. Like, there is a certain part of, like, dude, you're not the one who's here raising her.
He did take her to an ancient unknown city that actually fell out of the sky shortly afterwards.
Sure.
But still, he's the grandparent who stepped up.
Yeah, exactly. You also weren't here when she was under threat of being kidnapped and had to go into hiding because her grandfather was being targeted by the coup people.
Oh yeah, so that's right. She was mad about Tita going to the Liberarch and that red-headed scumbag got so near her. So she displays
Hates
that she
Agate.
hates Agate as well.
Yes.
She also updates that old Professor Russell is currently also abroad. Everybody loves abroad.
Everyone loves a
You'd know that, wouldn't ya? Ha! Lesbian joke.
I was trying to come up with a lesbian joke about it, and you beat me to it.
Everybody loves abroad. Oh, and while this is being told to us as well, I have to call out the very cool shot that they have of them descending down this never-ending staircase from
Never ends.
the Grancel Cathedral we know into this secret underground area.
Abyss.
They sort of have this great shot. It's like, what do you call it? The
Spiral?
spinny staircase. Spiral staircase. That's not spinny staircase. Fucking hell.
I mean, the shot's spinny.
It is spinning, so we're sort of staying like locked on Sid, Kevin, and Erica walking down this staircase as it sort of rotates around so that they're constantly moving down. It's sort of slowly panning from left to right while we have this just background of like ornate stonework behind it slowly panning. It creates a great sense of scale with very little like processing or object expense to the game. It's another one of those brilliant examples of using a little to create a lot in Trails that I love. And so as just like a background to a scene that's going to download us on a bunch of information, great. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like spooky and mysterious enough to like get you really excited for wherever the hell it's leading.
Yeah, it's this great sort of like looping shot that means no matter how long you take to read the dialogue, they're just going to be walking down this huge staircase endlessly, which is great because it's a decently long scene. And then towards the end of the scene, I think it's Sid or Erica who says like, how long is this staircase?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's okay, we're here. It's just this great kind of like, this is pulling us a long, long, long way away from the Grancel we know.
Yes.
This is just another deeply underground thing right next to the deeply underground thing in the castle.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. How much deep underground?
The cathedral and the castle must have had, like, competing building permits to get these underground secret areas built without crashing into each other.
Or the original city of Liberilla was, like, on this level, and then everything's just been built way on top. Then there's, like, a surface city.
Oh, it's like Seattle.
Yeah. It's that vibe. I like that vibe. Or Liberal just has intense catacombs.
Do you think, like, old Grancel also had a problem with crapper toilets refluxing?
Probably.
Because that's the one thing I know about Seattle. Yeah. I actually have. I went to Seattle for my 30th, and while I was there, I took, like, a tour of the Seattle Underground.
Oh, cool.
And learnt about the Gravity releasing, what's his name, like Ronald Crapper brand toilets.
I do not know.
Which is why we have the phrase crapper for toilets.
That's amazing.
But it was basically just like there were pipes that went downhill to the ocean. So when the ocean came in, everything just flowed back up and crappers became squirters, let's say.
Wow. That's amazing. And not in a good, amazing way, but amazing.
And even better, like a year after I came back from that trip, I found something on like a Gumtree, which is like Facebook Marketplace here, which was like a poster of different crapper toilet models.
That's wild.
Hey,
I love that.
Hang on, I've got it right here.
Yes, please.
1 sec. I'm sorry, it was Thomas Crapper.
Ah, Thomas Crapper. I love the like diagrams I'm getting.
Yeah.
I love that it's framed.
Yeah.
I've been to Seattle a couple times, but I haven't really gone. I mean, I went to the Space Needle, but I didn't really do like the official like touristy tour stuff. I was visiting a friend. I've had Beecher's mac and cheese. Any Seattle folks know that, really yummy stuff. And I've been to various parts of it, but yeah, I don't know my Seattle lore very well.
I also have the tattoo I got for my 30th, which is the Space Needle.
Very nice.
And this is like the Chihuly Glass Museum behind it. It's a big glass piece.
Oh, cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's just a diversion that has nothing to do with this game.
Shout out to our Seattle listeners, though, whoever's there.
Shout out. Woo. Is that Chase?
Yeah, I mean, Chase is, yes, but I don't know who else.
Yeah, crappers represent.
Okay. They just won the Super Bowl, so hope you're having a good time.
Oh, did they? Okay, congratulations.
Seattle, yeah, like last week.
Seattle Seahawks?
Seahawks.
Yeah.
Hooray, sports!
So yeah, we get to the bottom of the stairs. We come to a dead-end hallway immediately at the bottom of the stairs.
And Kevin goes, "This is not a dead end."
Yeah, Eric is like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you, like, giving us the runaround for?
You just made us walk for nothing.
Hang on. A, you needed to get your steps in for the day, Erica, so don't complain.
Exactly.
B, I need you to both wish upon a star for me real quick.
Yeah. Which Eric is like, oh, is this thaumaturgy? The church is thaumaturgy, which I don't know if we've heard that name, that proper name yet.
I think we heard it in first chapter when we had that one side quest where they needed to use the magic healing book in the church.
Yeah, that's right, yes. So the church is thaumaturgy, which is some kind of mystical practice the church does.
Mm-hmm.
Grouping, a school of practices or something.
Yeah, I don't know if they applied that there was more to it, but the only experience we've had so far of it is like gatekeeping medicine, basically.
Yeah.
But apparently also, if you get someone to stand there and think in their head really hard, I'm not going to tell anyone I don't trust about this.
Yes.
I won't share this with shady people. And then you point your religious wrench at them, you can make a door appear.
I'm glad you remembered religious wrench. I need to get in the habit of saying it.
So he's like, hey, think about how you won't tell anyone about this. And then they both glow as he sort of points his thing at them.
Oh, I remember the other time we used thaumaturgy.
Oh.
When Kurt had his memories messed up at the lab that
yeah.
And Kevin was like, I have this consecrated septium and I unblock your memories or something.
That's right, yeah.
And yes, he did that. He did that to unblock his memories that Weissman had like hypnotized or something. So it's the equivalent of Jin chopping the air in front of your face.
Erica and Sid solemnly swear they are up to just good, and suddenly this door appears, which does have the Star of David on it.
It kind of does, yeah, but it's not exactly that, because there's also a triangle underneath it.
It's, yeah.
That, like it has, there's a Star of David in the symbol, but it's not just a straight Star of David.
Yeah, it's just like a cool, ornate, detailed thing that looks, I guess, kind of religious-y because of that. Also, it's a cool 3-part segmented door, so it opens really cool, which means you know that this is like a site of religious importance.
Yes, absolutely. It's clearly significant shit.
Also, deeply inefficient as a design for a door, especially something that's ancient that you only visit very often. It seems like it would get stuck really easily. But what am I? I'm not the Pope. How can I say?
So this is technically a 7-pointed star, which is a symbol of the Septian Church, 7 stars for the 7 elements, or 7 septarians, but it's kind of not really like the usual 7-pointed star that we see on church iconography. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it almost looks like the Star of David is balancing on top of another triangle.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just like a throwaway thing. I thought it was pretty cool.
But I was just wondering what that extra triangle is, and I'm like, is that to add points so that it's 7 points?
Well, it would make sense because once we step through the door, we go into this huge open area. It's this big oval platform called the Primal Ground. I think this is the first time a location has had a cool title alert. But
other than like the Oriole, I guess, yeah. It's very cool.
Around sort of the central circle where there's this podium, there are 7 color-coded orbs on the ground kind of orbiting around it, which I think represent the septium types. Like, they are differently colored, but it's all kind of mood-lit.
Yeah, or the septarians, which all correspond. So it's, I guess, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing, right? Does it, like, were they originally to represent the septarians? Were they originally to represent the 7 elements? Were they, like, 7's pretty important in sort of cosmology of Trios.
I mean, yeah, I'd say it looks blue, red, yellow, green, gold, silver, and black.
It matches the elements. It does.
Yeah.
It's just that the septarians are also the same as the elements, so you never know which comes first. I'm just fucking to add mystique.
Is 7 just a fun, cool number? Maybe. So we walk in, they reveal that the Primal Ground is basically a thing that stores artifacts and suppresses their power. So it's like a null field for crazy god gadgets.
We also learned that there's one in Arteria, under Arteria, and a bunch of other ones that are all like replicas of the one in Arteria.
So whether that one in Arteria is like naturally occurring or just ancient, these are kind of like facsimiles of it that can do the same job. Just so you aren't having to hike an incredibly dangerous active artifact all the way to the holy city to get it to switch off.
Does make you wonder though, like, is it what it is, like, because it was built over a primal ground? Like, is that why that's the holy city, because there's a primal ground? Or did they build a primal ground there because it was the holy city?
Interesting.
I like to speculate about the world building around Arteria because I want to go there.
I was also curious is there any relationship between like orbal shutdown and artifact shutdown? Does this have any sort of relation back to that as well? Just a point of curiosity.
You know, that's a really interesting question, because we learned that the orbital shutdown is because the power of orbits was being sucked away and sent somewhere else, which makes you wonder, when artifacts run out of power, do they just run out, or does that power go somewhere else? You might be onto something. This is making my brain race.
Ooh.
That's really interesting.
But they have a bit of a chat. I can't remember how they get onto this, but
They basically say we pulled this up 3 days ago.
yes, they put it up 3 days ago, and then they're talking about how Erica thinks she's a better scientist than her dad.
Right.
Because, like, he's all about theory, and I'm a practical scientist.
I was like, okay.
Great family divide. But she does mention that she designed the base of the Capel thinking computer and the RSA itself. So
Yes.
she's got credits to her name for her practical science work.
Oh, yeah.
And sitting on this pedestal in the middle of the Primal Ground, being suppressed, is the round rock egg thing that fell out of the Oriole.
Yeah.
And so we get a flashback to 3 days ago at Valeria Lake when the young Professor Russell, pulled up this artifact. They've got some ships parked on Valeria Lake. The tech support ship from Zeiss is there with Gustav, the chief engineer, on it.
All I can think is, was there massive flooding after the Liber Arc sank? Because
True, yeah.
that thing's huge. For that to submerge in the lake, and it's yes, it's a big lake, but that water still moves. Like, there must have been...
Yeah, water displacement.
Either we're just supposed to suspend our disbelief here, or there was a significant flooding in the months after, which could explain why, like, wow, the people are so resilient even 6 months after what happened. Like, if the fallout, like, if there was big flooding...
Yeah, like the Valeria Lakefront Inn would have been flooded 100%.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. Oh, also on the tech support ship, Antoine is just hanging out. Love to see him.
I thought of you immediately. I was happy too, but I was like, Matt's gonna be so happy.
I love that he's here.
I wonder what he thinks of the water.
He gets a line and everything. So they're talking about the object that they found using like deep water probing or something, thanks to Professor Erica. And the object they're looking for is only about 50 centimeters across, despite how like powerful the power signature coming from it is. They thought it was just going to be some massive thing because of how much it was putting out, but nope, it's a small guy. It says it's no bigger than Antoine, is what Gustav qualifies it as.
Yeah.
It's no bigger than Antoine, and points at him, to which Antoine says, Nyaon, which is just, who are you? So, more disrespect from Antoine.
I imagine that he's taking offense to the idea that he's being compared to this item, and he's like, who do you think you are? It's like, who are you is like a way of saying, who do you think you are?
Yeah, it's like just an extra inflection that's not covered in the original dictionary.
Erica also expresses how much she hates artifacts, because...
they don't make sense.
2 reasons. One is that when you get something, you're digging something, you think you have an archaeological find, and then it's an artifact, and suddenly the church immediately is going to swoop in and take it away from you, like, no matter how hard you work to get it.
Bastards. The
second is the fact that you can't understand it. You know that you're not going to be able to understand it, no matter how much you analyze it, but you're still going to, because you're a scientist, you're still going to try everything you can to figure out how it works, but you know you're not going to get any effects. So it's just, like, frustrating as hell. And then they manage to get the thing out of the water.
They send the crane arm down into the ocean, and on the second try managed to pull it up, so...
I was expecting 3 tries, so it was kind of cool that it was on the second try. Just because rule of 3, I was like, it's always going to take 3 times till you get it, but no.
Yeah.
And it comes out glowing.
Yes, it comes out glowing, which is concerning. That means it's an artifact, because that's an artifact thing. Yeah, I wrote in my note, that looks artifact as hell.
And then we go back to the Primal Ground, where we see that it is not glowing. Which Erica is very keen to point out, because the laws say that if an artifact is active, the church gets it. If it is not active, the church doesn't have a claim to it. And Erica wants to keep it to study it.
Yeah.
Even though she hates them, she wants to study it.
She wants to get what she can, yeah.
So she is very keen on pushing the fact that, look, it was active when it came out, but it's not active anymore, so we get to keep it. I find it so interesting, the assumption that because it's powered down, but it was active 3 days ago, that means it's permanently... Like, I would assume...
Yeah.
If you dig it up and there's no signs of activity, okay, maybe then you're like...
Yeah.
There weren't readings off of it and there's no sign of activity, so maybe it was, but now it's just a museum piece. But I did not think that, it was definitely active 3 days ago, but it turned off, so now it's not active. And I didn't think that counted, but I guess it does.
Yeah, she's really pushing her luck, trying to get her hands on it. There's got to be some sort of checks they need to do. But it doesn't matter, because while they're arguing over who should get it, a new face steps into the scene, a nun.
Yes.
And she says, oh, yeah, that's ours. Thank you.
I want to read what she says, because it's important. And it shows up when you boot up the game. This text shows up if you leave the screen open before you get the title screen. This shows up first. That brief hesitation was all it took to spawn a great evil. It crawled through the fields, ran through the hills, and spread disaster in the skies above. An excerpt from the Book of Ezra, verse 2, Disaster Unleashed. And as she's walking, Kevin clearly recognizes her because he's like, no way.
Mm-hmm. And she's sort of asserting, like, the technicality of the rules. She's like, well, what it actually says is that if an artifact is inactive, nobody has a claim to it, not the church. So you can't have it either. And I guess that means we're going to take it.
It's a weird legal, it's like, you start and you're like, oh, she's going to have an interesting legal reason. And then it's just kind of like, because I said so. We also get her name, Rhys Argent. And she's the squire of the Gralsritter.
Yes, a lovely red-headed nun, which you may recognize some of her appearance from the cover art for our new season.
You may, and you may from also the cover of the game. You may have seen this person before. Erica is certainly enthralled by the sight of her.
Mm-hmm. This is when we discover her cuteness fetish, because she's, like, just suddenly real platonic horny for Rhys.
Really intense about it, like yelling that this is a ploy from the church to try and like get her to give them what they want, sending Rhys because she's cute, and then pulls out a picture of Tita and is like, I have immunity. It's like she's holding up a cross to a vampire.
Yeah.
She thinks it's a bribe, which I don't know if she thinks that they're giving her Rhys or just trying to distract. At first, I'm like, do you think it's a distraction? No, it's like a bribe. They think we'll give you this cute young woman as a bribe.
Yeah, I think Erica and Estelle would get along on that point, because Estelle also wanted to obtain Tita.
I think Erica and Annalise would be terrifying. They should never meet.
Oh god, never ever. But yes, while they're discussing, there's a flash of inverting light. The whole world gets inverted, and then the weird stone egg thing glows again. So maybe it's not so dead after all.
And then it unfurls like a lotus flower or something.
Very pretty.
It's very pretty, but it reveals that that wasn't the artifact at all. It was just a case for the artifact. The artifact is a fucking cube.
It is cube!
It looks like the Tesseract in the Avengers.
It's a glowing blue cube that from the intro movie we know spins around like a Rubik's Cube.
Yep.
It definitely looks like a Tesseract, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can think of.
But yeah, this glowing cube, they're like, well, that kind of seals it then. I guess it's still an active artifact. So Kevin takes official control and thanks them for their service to the church, basically. Thank you for your cooperation. We appreciate it. It's time for them to leave.
Bye.
All right, what's next?
We cut to outside of Grancel Cathedral, where we have Kevin and Rhys departing.
And we find out that Erica did not just take that lying down. It's like nighttime now because of how much they had to fight Erica about this. And Kevin points out that just as I thought she'd maxed out her crazy talk to spew, she goes and shouts, well, if you're going to be taking that, then I'll be taking her. So she did try to kidnap Rhys.
Oh, goodness.
Come on, Erica. But then we get a much more serious conversation between these two.
We get confirmation that they do know each other previously, because Kevin's sort of like, hey, it's been a really long time. And Rhys is kind of maintaining a professional facade, saying, yes, Father Kevin.
Kevin's like, are you mad at me? Are you still mad at me? You're not mad at me. And Rhys is very clearly mad at him.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm too mad at you to actually say it. My way of showing it is I refuse to even treat you like somebody who I know personally.
He says he's been out of touch for some time, so clearly this is on Kevin.
For 5 years, she says.
5 whole years. She's like, that's enough, we've got a mission, let's go. She goes to walk away, and then she has a rumbly-tumble.
Rumbly-tumbly.
Her stomach growls so loud, which she immediately becomes embarrassed by.
She's like, this is, you're hearing things. You're an old man, you're hearing things. Then it happens again.
Yeah, she's like, this is just a simple physiological phenomenon.
Kevin laughs very hard.
Yes. So apparently she's the same old Rhys he knows, just like an eternal garbage gut's always hungry. And they sort of have a bit of a breakthrough. He's like, listen, I'm really sorry. Please, can you just call me Kevin like you used to? Don't do the father. We don't need to do that.
He says something about not wasting her time with apologies, to which she replies that she doesn't see any point in him doing so because, and I quote, there are few things in this world that carry less weight than one of your apologies. So, clearly this girl's brutal. She can destroy you. She has the most brutal lines in this chapter, and it's only the prologue. But yes, and then he convinces her to call him Kevin.
Which she starts by saying, you're so selfish, Kevin. And he's like, all right, thank you for that. Let's get you some snacks before we go back to our, Jesus airship.
Yeah. And they go to the department store and apparently buy all of the bread in the grocery store.
Yep.
All of the bread on the shelves. Just imagine a nun and a priest walk into your general
Yep.
store and buy every loaf of bread.
Which Kevin even calls out. He's like, do you think it was a bit suspicious and memorable for a nun to walk in late at night and buy all of the bread? And she's like, I don't care.
She's like, it's better that I eat it than gets thrown away. I'll appreciate it.
So pious, yeah. But while they're chatting outside of the department store, they do notice that someone's spying on them from around the corner.
Which means they can't eat right away, and she's like, I can do
Mad.
anything except kill him, right? Like, as long as they don't kill him, I can do anything I want, because he stopped me from my eating.
And so they make a plan to sort of split up and sort of pincer attack, corner this person who's trying to spy on them. And wouldn't you know it, Lex?
Wouldn't you know it?
It just so happens to be the 2025 Gordy's Boss of the Year,
Yeah.
Gilbert.
Gilbert! We summoned him. We did it. In his civilian attire with his like fruity little neck scarf and like his weird like little jacket that's kind of cropped weirdly,
Yeah.
like his old look.
We eventually sort of corner him in the harbor district. So they sort of led him on a merry chase until they could sort of circle back while he was following them and trap him. So they trap him against the waterfront. Reese immediately goes for the jugular and is just like calling him a useless nobody.
You couldn't look more like a nobody if you tried.
Yeah.
And then a minute later she says, he oozes irrelevance from his every pore.
Yeah, you're the kind of person who constantly throws himself into things too big to handle and ends up sabotaging himself without anyone lifting a finger.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. She's savage. I love her.
I love her.
He pulls a gun and is like, aha, I'm going to fight my way out of this. And she whips out a sword and just like bonks him immediately. At which point he falls to his knees and starts begging for forgiveness. Because this is Gilbert after all.
We learn about the sword. It's called a Templar sword, and it's made up of multiple pieces that are held together by wires so the user can extend it at will.
Yeah, I don't think it's a real weapon that's ever really been effective, but it is one that sort of recurs in fiction a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I know, in Bleach, it was like Renji has a sword like this that kind of separates out into different segments. It seems really impractical and hard to do in a way that wouldn't just go to pieces after a couple of uses, but
Yeah.
she seems very confident in it. There's also a bit of back and forth between her and Kevin, sort of reflecting on the fact that she chose a Templar sword while he chose a bow. No, not a bow,
The crossbow.
a crossbow.
I get the impression that he sees significance in her choosing the Templar sword. She goes, it's just the same as your crossbow. It's just a weapon I chose. And he's like, like that's the way I read that conversation, that he's like, so you chose that.
Okay.
But Gilbert cries that he crash landed here. He was not here on purpose, and then he recognized them, so he just started following them.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin's like, okay, well, if you crash landed, that means there's an Ouroboros ship here somewhere, so tell us where. And he's like, oh, I didn't crash land on an Ouroboros ship. I crash landed on this. And he pulls out a customized Apache archaism.
That rises out of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's wild. He was keeping a helicopter in the bay. It just jumps up out of the ocean.
Well, it may have crash landed somewhere in the water, and he needed to wait for it to make its way over to land.
You know what? If it's a helicopter that can get itself back out of the water, that's a hell of a helicopter.
It is more competent than Gilbert itself.
But as soon as he summoned the helicopter, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy rules. That's so stupid. I love it. It's honestly an easy boss fight.
The G Apache, which I assume stands for Gilbert.
Oh, it must, yeah.
And it's blue like his hair.
And it's weak like him because this is a very short boss fight. It does help that both Kevin and Reese are level 90, but I took it down without any major fanfare. Gilbert didn't really have any tricks to pull out this time, or maybe I just didn't give him enough a chance.
He did his normal, like, I'm so sorry, whatever thing. He did the same, like, the same craft that his fake apology one. I did read his enemy description.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember if it's the same as the others or no. I think it's different. The member of Ouroboros with the most growth potential, parenthesis, he says.
That's a new one, yeah.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Gilbert hate, we love to see it. But after you're taking him down,
he's like, no.
they're like, okay, well, you've got some options. We can arrest you, and it'll be a real problem for you. We'll take you back to the Holy State and really, like, rake you over the coals. Or we can hand you to the Royal Guard. And before he can answer, there is another inverse flash of light. And we hear a man's voice.
And the thing glows too. The cube starts glowing at him all.
Oh, yes.
And Kevin's like, what the fuck is with this thing?
It's back again? Why is it glowing again? And this mysterious voice says, haha, so the time to begin is finally upon us.
And we look up on a roof.
Get a reveal of a crazy man with a crab hand.
And his art looks a lot like Louvet.
It does.
It's not the same. It's longer hair, but it looks a lot like it basically looks like he grew out his hair and changed his fit.
Yeah, he's got this very kind of like angry, aggressive looking armored fit. He's got like a
weird face mask
that covers his identity. He has extra long red claws on one hand, which is why I thought he looked like a crab. And also like a big glowing gem on the front of his face mask thing that looks like a single eye.
Yeah. And he says, "It's a pleasure to see you again, Kevin Graham," which suggests he's seen Kevin before. Traverser of the pathless darkness, repenting of his transgressions with the sin of a stigma forever on his back. And this gets Kevin's attention that he says that. "Come forth offerings, come forth lost lambs, burned to ashes in the ever-blazing flames." And everything goes white.
Also pointing out that the stigma forever on his back, that is a proper noun. That is a capital S stigma.
Capital S stigma.
So that is a thing, not just an analogy.
Yeah.
But yes, we get another flash of white, and the cube super glows. I wrote down that he said some stuff about lambs because I was too excited to move forward and I didn't write it down. And then we wake up somewhere different. We get this beautiful panning out shot of this kind of ancient library that Kevin and Reese wake up in.
They're on like a stone floor that has a pattern on the ground. I think it's an 8-pointed star, interestingly. But it might be like meant to be a flower. But it looks like 8 points to me.
Yeah.
A bunch of benches, stone benches, like slabs around two in a circle. And they're both collapsed on the ground.
Yeah, and they both sort of wake up one at a time. They're okay.
Well, Reese feels sick. Kevin's very worried until she points out it's because she needs to eat right this second.
Still hasn't eaten, yeah. But that might be a challenge because as we pull back from this shot of the library, the camera zooms out to show that this is one of several interconnected, ancient-looking rooms and spaces suspended in space.
Yes.
We are just on a big floating thing in a void. What have we got? We've got a place with a big tree.
Big fountain.
A place with a fountain. And a place with a blue rock. And then the library.
And then it looks like a set of stairs that leads to nowhere.
Yeah, two little like side spaces, maybe something under the tree as well. And we do get a title for this space. It is called The Hermit's Garden.
Yes.
And that's about all the information we get, because that's about when the prologue ends.
It's almost like Distortion World from Pokemon Platinum. It's got that weird, like, abnormal space suspended in midair. It's really cool visually.
This is very distinctly a new place. This is extra dimensional looking. This is very ooky spooky.
We've never seen anything like this in Trails before.
You know what, Toto? I don't think we're in Croydon anymore.
I think we might be in for something new.
Yes, I certainly believe so. But we'll have to find out about that next episode.
Still a ways to go.
With that, it's pretty clear that the setup for the third is going to be a little different to first and second chapter.
And I think I mentioned this on the show before, but when I played third, I had bad COVID brain fog. So this is the game that I remember the least. It's very blurry to me. I remember the big plot events and stuff, but the moment to moment, it's very blurry for me. So I'm not going to be the normal expert that I'm not going to be able to bring the same expertise to the table.
And that's a real achievement, because I feel like normally when it comes to Trails facts, your brain is ironclad on remembering things. So to have anything be able to interrupt that ability is very impressive. So I guess
Shout
well
out
done,
COVID, I guess.
Yeah, shout out COVID. But with that, and this being a slightly different structure to the game, so a slightly different structure to the season as well, we thought it best to bring in a voice of reason, someone who could clue us in to what we're about to experience. So, now that we've recounted the prologue and set the scene for what this game is going to be, we've got a little extra segment here at the end of the episode. We brought in
a consultant.
A consultant. I was going to say fan of the show, but maybe that's presumptuous.
Friend of the show, definitely.
Friend of the show, that's better. Ashley from the TWG community over on our Discord. Ashley is a strong voice for Trails.
And especially for third.
She said it was her second most favorite game in the entire Trails series, only recently superseded. So that is impressive. So now that we've discussed the prologue, we're going to travel back in time to yesterday when we spoke to Ashley about the third and what to expect.
Mm-hmm. after what we just experienced in the prologue, Matt and I decided that we clearly needed to consult an expert. This is clearly a little different. I have some blurry memories of when I last played this. Matt's never played. We're clearly not the people to break down what to expect in this game that's clearly going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we needed to bring an expert.
For the last 2 games, we've had that perfect setup of like smart guy, dumb guy, but now we're both the dumb guy, so we need a smart guy.
We're both dumb guy. I can't be smart girl. We need a smart girl on board. And we need to like really have a third consultant, you know. So we cast the net far and wide, and there was only one candidate who met all the criteria in this job search. So we have brought our good friend Ashley on board to give us a lowdown and yap with us about what to expect out of this very unique Trails game. So welcome, Ashley.
Hi, hello, I'm Ashley. I go by she, her.
Welcome to the show, Ashley.
We are so excited to have you.
Glad to be here.
From like when we started doing the thing, I was like, I need to have Ashley on at some point to talk about third. Like I knew that we needed to make this happen somehow.
Someone needs to save us for the one game that neither of us can go into confidently.
I had a feeling in the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got lots of questions that we got to dive into, but first, we should probably back up a bit and say, Ashley, what's your experience with the Trails series?
So I got into Trails. I first played the series back in 2022. I had a lot of friends who played it. I knew of it tangentially. And then at some point, before it came out over here, back when we still knew it as Kuro no Kiseki, which would then become Trails Through Daybreak, I saw some character designs in that game that really, really got me. And then I started learning more about the series, learning how a lot of it worked. And if at the time Daybreak was out in America, I probably would have just gotten Daybreak. However, it wasn't, and all the Sky games were dirt cheap. So I just got all of them, and I beat Sky in a month.
Oh, damn.
I beat the entire trilogy in a month, and that's kind of how I've done it ever since.
Ashley's the fastest Trails player on the planet.
I deserve to be tried for my Trails game times.
For Ashley, Trails games are 30-hour games somehow. Some of the later ones are more like 50 maybe, but like...
Yeah, it's about that, yeah.
Sky is a 30-hour game for Ashley.
It was like 25 hours, 35 hours, 25 hours.
Jeez.
Too fast, some could say.
Somehow there's always one time with these Trails games where I leave it just running and it starts ticking up the clock in the background on my PS5 or whatever. So I eventually just stop caring about the Trails time, but it's always longer than that.
Part of it is also I do it and then I take a break for like a year before I play the next arc. And then I take a break for like a year and then I play the next arc. I'm still on a longer than usual break to get on to Daybreak, but that's because I slammed through Cold Steel way too fast.
Yeah, you were like, I'm taking a break after Cold Steel 2. And then a week later, I remember you showed up and you were like, just kidding, I need more Trails right now.
Yeah, stuff happened. I needed to go back home. I knew that one of the ones upcoming I was going to love, and that was correct. And part of that was that I had heard it be compared to Sky Third.
Yeah. Teoh, one of the games in that area is very, very inspired by Third, so we're going to see where it all began, baby.
Yeah, Sky Third is a special game.
And that's a great way to lead into the question. Tell us about why you find it so special.
Sky Third is a one-of-one kind of game. There's not really anything else that I would specifically say is like it, like in feel, and the way it handles different parts of its narrative differently. Just a very, very drastic shift from other games in the series in a way that can be off-putting to some. But when I was coming from it, and it was coming from just Sky, SC, Third, that different change wasn't necessarily too crazy, but it's definitely different. Just by title screen alone, you kind of know it's going to be different. It really does just hit different emotions in ways that I wasn't expecting. It was a very personal game.
Yeah, it's very different. It's a much more, from what I remember, which as I've established is big events generally and some really shocking moments, but most of it's kind of a blur. But it's a lot more of a internal game and arc for a character as opposed to about the events of the world around. It's a lot more character driven. You
could argue that the main character of most Trails games is the country itself. You could argue that that is the main character of certain Trails games. That's not the case for this one. There is a main character and someone not as familiar compared to before.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, definitely just, like, by nature of the arcs being per country, it does sort of, like, line up that way. But this one, it seems like it's going to be removed from that almost immediately.
Yes.
So yeah, even the later games that kind of have a similar structure in kind of the Avengers team up vibes, they are still kind of, like, based in a location. Whereas, yeah, this one's just like, nah, we're not doing that.
And really, Kevin is the linchpin in this whole thing. He is the linchpin of why this game works as well as it does. I played up through Reverie, so you all will have it. You two will have the context for that specifically. But me saying that and still saying Kevin is still my favorite character from Sky. I think the way that this game tells the story that it tells and how we see it through Kevin, it's still unlike anything else in the series.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by Kevin because of any character in the Trail series doing my machete order playing of them. He's the one I sort of have the least context for.
Yeah, your specific order makes this very funny.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see how you see this.
Starting from Cold Steel, going forward. Yeah, and I'm kind of getting an interesting side-by-side comparison of him between Third at the moment and playing Beyond the Horizon, because in Horizon, they're sort of talking about it as like, oh, you're going to go back to your old thing, but they don't say what that is yet. He just gets like another cool title, and it's like, okay, what does that mean? And now I'm getting to see what that means. And, like, also, obviously, like, the way he's portrayed in second chapter is cool, happy, goofy sneaker guy until the very last minute when it's like, oh, you thought we weren't going to give you a weird cliffhanger again? Here it is. Like, every Trails game to date in the series, at the end of it, a man turns bad, which is a great message to portray in video games.
And you're not always sure if it's bad as in evil or bad as in bad bitch or both.
It can be both.
For sure.
But it just feels like generally turning a guy to sand is probably not like a good guy move.
No. One could argue.
It's intense.
But now he's the protagonist of the game.
Yeah, I case for Kevin, so to speak, because, you know, we all love Estelle. And I think it's a very normal reaction to go into Third without Estelle as your lead and be a little hesitant or kind of mixed about it. I will simply say, trust the process. Kevin's awesome.
Kevin's great. Kevin's also canonically now has a Boston accent, which I do adore.
I love it.
That's so funny. I haven't heard it at all.
It like comes out at like, and I mean, I think in the SC remake we'll see a lot of it, and it'll be like a lot of clips of it. But I do love going in to Third now, being like,
yeah,
because I know we're gonna hear Matt's Boston accent at some point. I'm sure.
That's so funny.
Oh god,
whether it's intentional or not, at some point the spirit's gonna possess you.
The most accurate portrayal of Boston accents I know is like the over-exaggerated ones from 30 Rock. So it's not going to be good for anybody. But I do love Kevin's voice because it's not all the time. It slips in certain words. Obviously, he says like wicked a handful of times. But even in some of his like end of combat barks, they slip it in. He's like, I swear there's one where he's just like, forget about it or something. And it's so Boston, but it's so quick and I'm so used to just like smacking through the summary screens. It's just like, forget about it. I was like, what? Yeah.
I haven't like listened to any of that at all, but I completely hear it. I totally buy that.
It totally makes sense for Kevin.
It makes so much sense.
And God, I hope that like back in SC, maybe he hasn't de-regionalized his voice as much when we go to second chapter remake, because like it's slipping out only on certain words, which is the kind of thing which happens when you like naturalize your accent to where you live, like Arteria. But here he's still like traveling around just being like a goofy sneaker guy.
Maybe.
And so I can't wait to just like fully Boston it.
Okay, but imagine if the holy city of Arteria, imagine if the native accent was a Boston accent. I know that's not the case, but just imagine that Vatican City, everyone has a Boston accent.
Arteria, Massachusetts sounds crazy.
The Pope has a Boston accent.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
No longer Chicago Pope, it's now Boston Pope.
In any case, while we're hanging out with Boston Kev, it does seem like his story is going to play out a little bit differently. We got the taste right at the end of the prologue there of the Hermit's Garden, where he landed with Reyes? How do we say it?
I say Reese.
Reese, I think it said.
Reese, okay. I don't think I've actually heard it voiced in a line in the game, or just ignored it?
That's how I've always heard it.
Okay, but they keep surprising us with those pronunciations in the remakes.
Apparently, if they'll change it again.
Zin. Oh.
Well, I like that in the remake and Horizon, like parallel coming out games. In the one game, it's Zin, and the other Jin. Like, they're just not even there.
That's so funny.
Because Gung Ho is like, the same actor is like jumping from one project to another with the character's name pronounced differently.
Can't imagine.
I just have this really strong hope that in the second chapter remake, they'll have just a moment where like another Calvardian character calls him Jin, and they're like, wait, I thought it was Zin. It's like, oh, I just didn't want to correct you guys. Like, I'm in a new country. It's not your fault that you can't pronounce our names.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be great.
I'm from the East. Just like, oh, we've been calling you Bonjamin this whole time. I'm so sorry.
They'll slip in a Zane at one point just for the hell of it.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Zane.
Zane. Every time I see that in the walkthrough that I used, it made me so happy. Yes, I'm from the Mystical East. My name is Zane.
Zane is from the Elder Universe where Jin moved to a new school and was trying to fit in as a kid and westernized his name.
Oh, no.
No.
But yeah, it looks like it's clear from the very end of the prologue that the structure that they're going to use to tell this game mechanically as well as like narrative form is going to be different from the last two games.
Yes.
So what should people be expecting?
This is a dungeon crawler-ass dungeon crawler. This is definitely, notably, a smaller script and a very similar runtime. That's because there's going to be a lot more battles.
Hell yeah.
It is definitely more combat focused. It's definitely longer stretches of dungeons and exploring stuff in dungeons. I would say that this is the first game where you could say that you're maybe playing it for the combat. I think it's where it gets that second gear to really, really start to become a reason why you would play it. I would also say if you are still not necessarily feeling it, if you're not already playing on easy, play on easy, because this is definitely a bit of a step up. It's going to already expect you to be there. And if you played SC, which I assume you have since you're here, the game knows that your first S-Craft is Grail Sphere, and it will work along with that.
Oh, yes. Grail Sphere, the key to not dying.
The key to not dying. The game already knows that you have. So if you're excited or want the combat to get to another gear, this is where it starts. And if you're really not 100% sure on it, definitely, if you're not already, I would recommend taking it down a step on this one.
We haven't mentioned this yet, actually, but Ashley's also a game developer.
Ah.
You are working on turn-based combat yourself.
Yes.
So I'd love to hear a little more insight from you specifically on the mechanics of the combat. What's different in third? What makes it really sing?
Yeah, I was curious whether you meant that in terms of like new mechanics being introduced or just the game engaging with its own mechanics a bit more strongly.
It's mostly game engaging with itself more strongly, but a big part of it is that there's more stretches of time in this game compared to previously where you have more authorship on who you are using and why you are using them. Because in the prologue, it's just it's going to be just Kevin and Reese for a little bit, but as things go on, you're going to end up having more and more options, some that might surprise you, and the game is going to ask you to use everything at your disposal a lot more often than it has previously. Definitely, I remember early fights in this game really, really surprising me in ways I was like, okay, I get what this game is now. It's definitely a bit harder. It's going to ask you to, if you're unsure about how your quartz works, definitely you're really going to have to figure that stuff out one way or another, guide or yourself.
Yeah. It's
definitely a step up in asking stuff from the player.
You can't just put your best large area of effect spell on every character and spam it?
No. So there's a pretty early change that will make some of that a little bit different. But definitely, my suggestion for these games is always just max out having whatever your action quartz is on everybody. That is...
Speed is king.
Speed is king. There's some very, very funny turn bonuses in this game.
Oh, okay.
That have made me very thankful that there is instant retry sometimes.
Nice.
Oh, so they swing both ways.
They swing both ways in this game. It can definitely be a little mean sometimes.
Don't tell me there's like a death blow effect or something that just kills you instantly. That kind of nonsense. Oh, you're smiling in a way that I don't like.
There's instant retry.
They definitely have that in Cold Steel and Crossbow, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Some of the stuff that is in those specific areas shows up pretty regularly here.
Oh, okay. Man, I was really hoping the sadism started later in the series, to be honest.
Oh wait, the sadism started when we had that Ren boss fight in SC where you like have to use an S break somehow before she moves, and your finger can only move so fast.
How can they make a child who's so lovable so hateful?
I'm very, very happy to have 4 Deathblow stuff already on me at the time in my inventory that I was not equipped.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've learned from playing these early games is, like, if there is a stat blocking accessory, get 4 of them
immediately.
every time.
So, the way that the games have approached storytelling so far is, like you said, the location is the main character in most of the games, and kind of exploring that world and the events around you in that part of the world is kind of how the storytelling flows. Obviously, going for a full-on dungeon crawler is going to change how the narrative structure and how storytelling is. So, what should people expect? What do you just talk about that? I don't have a question. I just want to prompt you on that.
People should expect this is definitely a lot of a story in this game is going to be told at the start of a chapter and at the end of a chapter. But there's a bunch of other little things that you're going to be able to find out on your own through exploring the various areas mid-chapter. One of the rewards of exploring the dungeons in these areas is more story. And it's the way this game does its quote-unquote side quests. So part of your reward for exploring these dungeons is going to be what we've been able to experience before has been our characters going and seeing the day-to-day of the people of Zemeria, of the people of the Liberal. What your reward this time is you're going to get to see little day-to-day moments of your actual party for the most part. What has happened between SC and now, maybe even what happened before FC. Some little bits and pieces of characters, like what have they been up to? What are they doing when they're not traveling together for these 2 games? Those are some of your rewards for exploring extra in dungeons, which also, nice little thing, you'll be able to go to them. They're also a fast point to the hub, so you can just use that as a way to go back or go to it. Part of this that's helpful that I didn't even realize this as like a thing to clock until pretty recently. This technically means that a lot of the side quest stuff in this game isn't timed. So if you really do want to just blaze through the chapter, blaze through the dungeon, you're feeling it. Or this is like one of those times where it's like, okay, I'm playing this while watching something. I'm just going to play through the dungeon and then I'm going to go through and look at all that stuff later. You absolutely can do that. This game still gives you, there's like little kinds of like easy ways to like segment how you play Trails games sometimes, where it's like you're going to play the quote unquote day, you're going to do the side quest, you're going to see the story, and then you'll get that chance to save and go to the next day, etc.
Yeah.
You still kind of get that here, which is pretty nice. And the doors, they don't just have the bits of story. There are like actual tangible rewards, some very, very helpful that you'll get rewarded with. That will make the journey much easier.
I really like that idea because Trails is always really rewarded exploring.
Yes.
Whether that means talking to more NPCs or like going out of your way to a location that is like not flagged as a place you have to go for a quest, but that is clearly of interest, like going to the whatchamacallit towers.
Yeah.
Even when there's not like a plot reason to go.
Yeah.
So I like that it's the same philosophy but transferred kind of onto the dungeon crawler.
Yes. It still signposts itself very easily. It still signposts itself like there is literally a door here that looks different from everything else.
Yeah, it's that design aesthetic that I really love in games, which is like, if there's an off-the-path corner that you can poke your head into, there's something there to treat you. Like, Dragon Quest is especially good at it. It's like, there's always, like, a barrel that's got, like, a medicinal herb. It's nothing, but it's, like, a reward for exploring.
It's got a thing in it, yeah.
And so, yeah, that and, like, having long stretches of battling means that this season, my podcast game can also be a podcast game.
Yes, exactly.
Meaning I can listen to podcasts in between these story moments while just, like, grinding in that kind of, like, fugue state that you get into in a proper RPG.
It's funny that it can be a podcast game, but it absolutely can't be.
Yeah, you might have to pause every now and then to listen to someone's trauma and or greatest triumph. Because the only one of these doors I have context for is a tough one to watch that Lex directed me to for a scene in Daybreak 2. Yeah, so as long as it's not all that,
No, it's not. Don't worry about that.
That's the worst one, easily, and like the most difficult to watch.
There's definitely some very, very chill ones. There's definitely some that are just really, really fun or just really, really relaxing. Very, very cute.
Yeah.
It does run the gamut on all those emotions.
Yeah, and that's what I want, just more character moments to kind of get to know these people better, because like we've been ingrained with at least some of these characters for like 2-3 games now, so it'll be good to learn more about them.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of those interactions are going to were from, party member to party member, and sometimes it's a nice little, right, these people did have a life around before this. What are they doing? What did they do? How did they get here, etc. It's really, really nice. I love the way that they do this. I love that your reward for exploring in a dungeon crawler is actually more story.
One thing I'd love to hear your perspective on, like obviously we can't get inside Falcom's head in terms of like why they made decisions they did, but do you think there's anything about the story they're telling in this game that matches particularly well with the structure of a dungeon crawler? Do you think there's anything that makes it particularly compelling as like a combination?
Yes. Trying to put it very simply, yes. I think this game being harder is thematically appropriate for the kind of story that it is telling.
I have a feeling it might have something to do with our new friend Cube.
The cube.
That's just a Rubik's Cube.
So I haven't played it, so this isn't maybe the most accurate comparison, but I have seen people compare this to the answer from Persona 3 in a way, where it is...
Yeah.
Okay,
I can see that.
Definitely, like, it's like longer stretches of dungeon crawling, but like the
I think it's better than the answer.
Yes, of course, yes. Also before the answer, I'm pretty... Was it before the answer?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure?
I think
they were probably around the same time now I think about it.
Yeah.
Sky Third and
Answer would have been
FPS.
PSP era, yeah.
both 2007.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. But like that kind of like longer series of dungeon crawls, and that's the way they somewhat sprinkle in the character interactions and talking about what's going on outside of it throughout the game. Yeah, I really, really like how this game doles out its narrative and both its main and its side narratives. It's a high I have been chasing, is like trying to find or even make something like that can kind of capture the way that this game does it. Because it's also, I feel like this game can only exist in this specific time when it's like the epilogue to SC.
Yeah.
Are there any games out there that you would kind of like equivalate to that experience or that vibe that you have found?
I've been trying to find that out for like 4 years now, and it's so singularly itself that it's one of the reasons why I still love it. It is so singularly itself.
Are there any games that you think, even if it's not the same experience, that it's particularly taking inspiration or taking influence from, even if it's just for parts of it?
There's a little bit of SMT in it, like a little bit of it in the way some kind of like enemy design and some music too. Some enemy designs and some music definitely kind of give a little bit of SMT. There's definitely like a love for that kind of genre peppered in through this. It's the way that it plays out, the way that it feels sometimes. But again, it really is kind of like its own thing. You can kind of feel that it's like, what's the word for this? It's like stirring the pot a little bit of like, we have this, we have this, we have this, and then suddenly you have the eureka. It's like, we have something here. But I haven't been able to find out what those ingredients are or what the recipe for that is, and be able to find that in anything else.
One thing that's really interesting that I know about the development of this game is that originally they were planning to go right to the Crossbell arc after SC.
Yeah.
And then in the very early stages of production for that, they're like, hang on, there's groundwork that we have not done. There's stuff we need to cover. There are story beats we need to, like, we can't go there yet.
Yeah.
And so there's been a lot of general opinion on this game has become more unanimously positive since it first came out, but especially at the time, there was a lot of confrontation over, is this all filler? Is this skippable or whatever? But it's a game that clearly Falcom, it's so not skippable that Falcom tried to skip it and couldn't.
Yeah.
Right?
But now they're trying to skip it again.
So why do you think this game is so key to, like, you can't skip it? You can't
skip it. Some of the stuff that they're exploring in some of the doors, the leaps on some characters, you just wouldn't be able to do. You just wouldn't be able to just jump from SC to 0 on some of these characters. But it makes perfect sense the way that they made the game, how it's like, we can't just go here. Wait. We don't have the stuff to do that yet. How do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do this? Okay, here's how we do this. It's definitely some very, very creative use of how they use what they have to make what they've made, which is part of why that's one of the other things, parts of why I love it. It really does feel like there's definitely some times where the way that they use what they already have had to make something new and make something that feels very different with still pieces that come from before.
It's like a Majora's Mask situation at times.
Very Majora's Mask in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That's a very good comparison, actually.
Yeah, it's great when they figure out how to use every part of the animal to really like that was the stuff I loved in FC when they had, like the little arena cutscenes for the tournament in the capital and stuff like that. It's not technically impressive, but visually it was like really delightful. They just used what they had in a remixed way, and it was fantastic. So
Falcom has always been very, very good at making the most of what they have.
But it's interesting then that the same parallel is happening now in like the remakes development compared to the original development, that they're discussing whether to skip third and go straight to the crossbell arc with the remakes, which it sounds like is a bad idea.
I have a theory that what they're considering isn't skipping it, but whether they should instead make third like a big DLC expansion for SC, which I'm not saying is the right move, but I could see them being like, we can't sell it for the same amount of money. It's not as big of a game, so maybe we do like the answer scenario.
If something like this had come out today, it absolutely would have been a DLC expansion. It absolutely would have been that.
It does kind of feel like a coda piece to the main story, the way you guys are describing it. But if we're talking about a similar runtime to the other games just because of battle instead of cutscenes, then to make it a DLC, they'd have to trim out half of what makes the game unique and just like string cutscenes together more, which doesn't seem like the right way to go.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I completely trust their direction on it. I would specifically have been worried about how they would remake this, and now I'm not really afraid of that anymore. I would be able to just trust them. It's so weird how me just saying out loud this game having any kind of like action combat in it would feel weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that, but there's something meditative about it being a turn-based RPG dungeon crawler that like works for the vibe of it.
I think it is the shortest game, like for everyone, not just for Ashley, like the shortest game like to play by a good margin. Like it is much shorter to play than all the other games.
Definitely.
At the same time, it does feel like even since Reverie, they've been practicing doing like huge generative dungeons.
Yeah.
So they've just been like iterating on that. So it's like, it's the thing they've been practicing for a decade. It's like, you guys can do third. We trust you.
Notably, these are not procedurally generated. Notably, these. But I could also 100% see if they did like the DLC route that some parts of this would have been procedurally generated. There's definitely sections of it that are disconnected enough that they totally could have done that.
One other thing I did want to ask, because you've sort of been describing it as a dungeon crawler more so.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about sort of a linear progression of the story, or is it more branching and sort of having a choice of which stuff to target first?
It is definitely very linear still. Again, the main difference of a lot of things is that the doors are kind of like it's this game side quest, and you can kind of do them whenever.
Okay.
You can do those in like any order. There's one that you technically do twice because it's a part 1 and a part 2, but otherwise it's very disparate, very out of order. I don't really think many, if any, like directly connect, but it's a lot that you can go at your own pace, but it's definitely linear.
Okay, I kind of like that because when you've got like so much dungeon crawling and stuff, it's nice to kind of have a guiding light at the same time rather than just kind of getting like lost in the choice. So
it is a dungeon crawler. It's not like super, 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 super intense dungeon crawler. I'd like to be clear on that. It's more dungeon crawler than Trails has been, but I don't think there's any part of this that is as confusing as the end of Aurelie or the end of FC. Like as far as like complexity goes in the areas, it's not that.
Okay.
Oh my god.
But we still don't have dungeon maps, do we?
No.
I'm just remembering the photon judges in the sealed area again.
Yeah, those were the two times. Those were the two times that I like. No, I need a map. I can't do this. I need a map. I did not need a map at any point in Sky Third. But those two, I needed a map.
I feel like, and my memories in this obviously are vague, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you see for the first time in Third in terms of like Falcom trying out an idea. And some of them are like ideas that I feel like they try in Third and then you don't really see again. And others are like you will see further refinements or variations on this throughout. What are some of the ones to like look out for that you think are successful? Are there any that you think are like really unsuccessful experiments?
So there is a new battle mechanic that is like very, very underbaked, but there's definitely it is immediately like iterated on in Zero and then in Cold Steel with like the idea of like multiple characters coming in on one attack. That's like there's a very very underbaked version in this game that some characters are have some good use from it, but not most of it that are like a main mechanic in future games. In general, I personally think that in earlier Sky games, for those games are chill enough that the game did not need the orbit system to be what it is for how low key those games are. I mean, this is like the first game where it like actually kind of makes sense. Where like it makes sense why they would do it that way when you're having as many characters as you're gonna have.
And that's something they iterate on more and more as well.
Yes, they do. I used to be sad that they changed it from how Sky was, and now I'm like, no, they should. I'm glad they changed it.
I'm interested to see what you think of the Daybreak version of the Quartz system.
Yeah, me too. That's something that I keep thinking about. It's funny, that was like the game that got me to jump in, and now I'm like super, super late on getting to it now.
It really does take in some of the Sky stuff without totally like it's like a exact marriage of like what Cold Steel is doing versus like what Sky and I guess what Azure and Zero are doing is a better like the marriage of that and Cold Steel, where it's like about a mix of like being about like how many elements you can get on each line and like that, but also being about like here are your arts that you get. It's not.
That makes sense though. That's cool.
It communicates what you're going to get for your setup really well, but I would say it's also maybe the first time that the auto-equip settings are like fully baked as well.
Okay.
So that's just really nice when you start to get too many characters. Like, I can't be custom setting all you guys. It's like, do you want to be a physical, a magic, or a speed? Or do you just want to upgrade the ones you've already got from like Impede 1 to Impede 2?
Gotcha.
Like, perfect. Just, I can go through auto. Let's go back to fighting.
They get better at that, for sure, which thankfully, when how many characters you start to get. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to manage in regards to that. I would say, for as much as you're definitely going to get a lot of characters in this game, I only had to like do like 20 minutes of grinding near the very end, thankfully.
Ooh, like that.
I mean, Trails is pretty good about getting under-level characters up fast, but...
Yeah, they do a bit of like slingshotting, I think.
And being able to just transfer quartz, too.
But is it underbaked?
Yes.
Yes!
Despite this being a quote-unquote more low-key dungeon crawler, it's definitely still has that Trails ambition in a lot of ways. And it's very, very palpable.
Love it. It wouldn't be a Trails game if half of it wasn't like undercooked.
They're trying, damn it.
They're trying, and it's good to see.
They have more ambition than they have like resources, and it makes it charming even when something is like not entirely baked. Because like
I say that this is definitely where the combat starts to get into that next gear. It's definitely still kind of jank.
Yeah.
I would say Zero is the first game where they like get it.
Struggling on the gear shift, yeah.
Yeah. Zero is the first game where they really, really, really get it.
they're really polished, yeah.
Yeah, but this just the sheer amount of options that you have are like you didn't get that many options for a while.
I love a game that makes you want to like pat it on the head and say good try.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the mechanical parts of it are definitely like that, but it is something where like that the narrative still sticks with me even to now. I finished it. I think Steam says that I finished it at the end of 2022. I am still thinking about stuff from this game even now.
It's definitely more than the sum of its parts in that way. Like it really.
Absolutely.
I remember there's stuff that sticks out in my mind. There's a few things that I actually until. I remember playing Reverie, and there was a reference to something in third, and I was like, I swear that was a dream that I had, like a fever dream that I had while I was playing it. I did not think that was a real thing that happened in the game. I'm so glad it is, but I really thought that was a dream. I really didn't think that happened.
Yeah, this game's, I'm really, really excited to see how y'all go through it. It's really, really special. I could talk forever about that. It's so funny that it's its own thing while still absolutely requiring that you play the first two things before it.
Yeah, you can't just jump in here.
It's such a unique little thing. I love it to death.
So do you have any, you gave us a little advice for combat already. Pile up on action quartz and use everything in your arsenal. Do you have any other, maybe not like direct tips of like do this, but more like things that you think like keeping this in mind and having this approach will enhance the enjoyment of the game, will help you get the most out of it?
Yeah, like stuff we should pay attention to, especially.
Definitely, y'all won't have a problem with this. Keep explore around because you do get actual tangible rewards for doing a lot of these doors.
No.
I don't remember the doors specifically, but there's definitely a couple of them that are like, this is a huge upgrade for this character, or this character gets a specific weapon. If you could lose this fight, but if you win it, then you really, really get this super good thing. I think just the thing with it is that a big difference in this compared to before is that as much as I love Estelle in battle is not the best.
Yeah.
And Kevin is extremely good. Again, you have Grail Sphere from the start. Don't worry about just popping that when you see danger.
Busted.
Reese is a really, really good jack of all trades, so definitely invest in keep using her. You're gonna get some head scratchers on some of your early characters. Trust the process, it'll work out. Let Kevin carry you for a little while because he's definitely the best character you're going to get for a long time. But explore around, do the doors, keep your action cords up, pop clock up every boss fight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really, really specific. I can't really think of it off the top of my head. Again, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. But generally, just speed is king. You shouldn't have to grind much, but it doesn't take that long if you have to.
I'll be playing on easy for sure.
Yeah, go for it.
I will take the challenge. I have a very silly question for you.
Yes.
Because another fun thing about Ashley is that Ashley plays fighting games competitively.
Yeah.
And now I'm definitely not a fighting game expert, but I know that some of our audience loves some fighting games. So I thought it might be fun to ask, if Kevin and Reese played fighting games, which would their favorite be and who would they main?
Okay.
If I don't know them, I'll look it up, but I thought that might be fun.
This is a good question. Who would Kevin... I'm trying to... There's an easy answer here that I'm definitely missing. I think Kevin... Unironically, I think Kevin... It's a deeper cut for those who actually know like what the character is about, and if you don't, it's gonna be really, really funny to say out loud and see the difference. Kevin definitely plays Soul Bad Guy in Guilty Gear. He relates to him a lot.
I'm looking up imagery.
It will be very funny to see because you're not gonna understand it at all.
Okay.
He plays Soul and he plays Kai.
I'm getting a lot of photos of this character, but then also one that has him with some facts and a photo of Freddie Mercury, so I love that.
Kevin would love Queen, just as a fact.
Yes, definitely would. Who would Reese play? That's such a fun question.
Also Guilty Gear, or do you think it's gonna be somewhere else?
There is an easy one if I say Guilty Gear, because there's a character whose mechanic is literally that he has to eat food.
That's right, Reese is a foodie.
Reese is a huge foodie.
Yeah. Reese
might play Sin because the calorie meter.
I love that for she would be so happy if she got to eat food in order to fight.
Yeah.
If eating food directly contributed to her doing all the things other than eating food she has to do, she would just be so happy.
So Sin is the religious muscle twink with an eye patch?
Yeah. So he has a calorie meter in one game where you could like string his specials together if he has it, and if he doesn't, then he gets exhausted, so he has to eat. He pulls out a skewer with like a turkey on it, and that's the move.
I mean, from what little I know of Reese so far, that lines up.
Matt, did you have any other, before I get to where I was going to go, do you have any other third questions that you wanted to get to?
I think we've kind of covered most of the things that I was curious about. I was just wondering if we're still doing linear, like what to look out for, like what the structure is, because we haven't learned about it officially, but it does seem like it's pretty different. So yeah, I think we kind of covered it.
Yeah, it's pretty different. Your optional stuff is kind of done at your own discretion, but your main progression and the narrative is going to be extremely linear.
Before I get to my non-third related question for you, is there anything else you wanted to say about Third while you have a platform to talk about it?
I haven't mentioned it all. Third's probably my favorite soundtrack in the series. It is also, again, still very, very different in a lot of ways from the series. I think the best way to enjoy Third is going to be those like modes of I am just going to play through a dungeon and I am going to just eat up all of the story that I can. I'm going to go to the end of this dungeon. I'm going to take a break and then I'm going to do the doors I want to do. I'm going to see the end of it. I'm going to beat the boss of a dungeon, see the scenes before that, see the scenes before that, stop, do the next dungeon. I mean, that's the easiest way to enjoy it, to be able to segment it out like that if it's possible.
Yeah.
That's very good advice for us because we have to plan out episodes. So any advice for how to plan our episodes?
Yeah, and there's definitely some times where where it's going to kind of stomp on that a little bit.
But that's fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just need to make sure we don't do it in a way that we have to like mainline a bunch of story at once by kind of going through it at the wrong pace or like not breaking things up the right way. Because story is great, but if you have to watch like 2 hours of cutscenes all at once because you saved up all your doors, that's no fun.
Well, if you have to recap 2 hours of cutscenes, that can make for a really long episode.
Yeah, it's going to happen sometimes. There's definitely the times where they are like, hey, here's the story for the beginning or the end of the chapter. It is definitely a little bit prolonged.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah, and this is related to this, so I'm going to bring it up. The types of doors, there's 3 of them. There's star doors, moon doors, and sun doors. Sun doors are a bad minigame. just to say it. They're a bad minigame.
Hell yeah.
The star doors are like 15 to 20 minutes of story. You can kind of just go through it. It's pretty chill usually. There's a couple of them have like some kind of gameplay in them where you are actually walking around or you're actually fighting.
Okay.
And moon doors are genuinely the screenshot from FF14 of a lot of cutscenes are going to play. But we are recommended to set aside time to view these scenes. The moon doors are definitely like that.
Well, good to know they respect our time a little.
And they do tell you what they're like, okay, it's this character's door, or this is like a star door, this is a moon door. It will signpost that specifically.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I did wonder if it was like a mystery going into the door what you were going to get.
When you approach the door, it'll be like, hey, you need this character, or hey, you will need to have done this.
Oh, okay.
And then I think literally once you talk to it once, then it also becomes a fast travel point. So you don't have to view the door for it to be a fast travel point. You can just go do it.
Ooh, fast travel. It's just nice to have fast travel.
It is.
It's so exciting.
Is this technically the first instance of fast travel in the series? Now I think about it.
Other than that, like, baby one you had at the start of 2nd chapter for just, like, moving around with Estelle and Annalise, yeah.
In the prologue.
Yeah, huh.
And then, I mean, you have the train on the Oriole, but, like, you're not fast traveling beyond being able to go from one terminal to another. You still have to walk through everything else, so it doesn't really count.
That was travel, it was not fast.
Yeah.
Spitting.
So I did want to pivot and talk briefly about a game I played a few weeks ago. It's a demo for a game. It's another turn-based dungeon crawler. It's so creative. Ooh. It's so much fun. It's an RPG that you can actually play in like 30-minute sessions and like really get a full like experience building characters and like doing, you know, cool, interesting stuff. And it was developed by Ashley. So I'd like to give you a chance to talk about Last Gasp.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm in the middle of and have released and making this game called Last Gasp. It is a roguelike turn-based RPG where you are writing your own characters as you're progressing through. It's very, very interchangeable what your characters are able to do and why they do them. The idea of it is just that it is like, what if a job system JRPG was a roguelike and the jobs you got were randomized? How would you put your party together? What would you do to try to get it to synergize? Little bits and pieces could you do to add to your own flavor to it?
And what if you got access to the full job system within a few minutes instead of like 20 hours into the game?
Yeah, you had just full reign over what you can do. I've been trying to figure out how to do that for a long, long time, and this is the most recent version of it. There is a roguelike quick play mode, and there's a roguelite story mode where the roguelike mode is like about like a 45 minutes of just one run, and the roguelite mode is like these smaller bits to go through that are like 15-20 minutes, where you then make your party to fight stuff outside of the run to then get permanent bonuses or see the next bit of story.
Nice.
I totally just put you on the spot here, I know, but like I had to brag.
No, you told me you were going to do it.
I did tell you that I would. I told you like a month ago. Like you get a chance to plug it.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, if you like job systems, if you like turn-based JRPGs, if you like roguelikes, or if you like some of those and don't know if you like the other, or know why one would like the other, this is a good way to figure out why. I unintentionally made it very, very streamlined, apparently. So it's a good way for someone who doesn't necessarily know what the appeal of like the job system kind of RPGs are. Maybe this is a good little bite to be able to experience that quickly, to be able to get that full progression of building your character, building your party, making it your own, literally. And I've been very, very pleased by how much people like it. If someone out there doesn't really like it, they sure haven't told me yet, because I've been sending it around, people getting...
It's pretty great.
Thank you. I've been sending it around to a lot of people, trying to get as much feedback as possible. This sounds crazy to say out loud, but it is like sending it to someone and then it's like, they really, really like it. It's like, okay, well, what don't you like it so I can fix it? And then they don't say anything. It's like, oh, okay. It's available to play for free on itch right now. There's a pay what you want donation to it, but it is completely free to download. But it's made in RPG Maker. I have been working on it for like a year now. It's nearing the end of its dev cycle. And please, if it sounds interesting at all, please play it. Please spread it. It would mean a lot to me. Yeah, thank you for giving me the platform to talk about it.
It's really great.
Thank you so much. It is unfortunately Windows only for now. RPG Maker's weird about handling like Mac and Linux stuff, so I have to find some weird stuff to do that, because I would like, as many people to play it as possible. But for now, it is just Windows on an itch.io page. That sounds like it will be linked.
Yes, it will be. And you can say no to this. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on the internet? On Blue Sky or anything?
Yes, do you want to be found on the internet?
My Blue Sky is RVA Joker. It's the same as my itch.io. Really, that's it. And I mostly hang out in the TWG server. So if you want to talk about Trails there, or if you want to talk about really anything, I kind of work, and I have like 20 channels that I'm like, okay, let me peep in here, and here.
Yeah.
I'm
exactly the same. I just do my scattershot post every handful of hours, and then I go back to my day.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a little white dash and the name highlighted low. It's like, oh, okay, let me go there.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I operate. All right, well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was really fun.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Anyways, we'll have to circle back maybe once we've finished third, and we're all a bit more informed.
It might be fun to do a spoiler chat at the end.
Yeah, I tried my best to like, okay, how do I give information and also try to hide a little bit.
I mean, we've been trying to dance on that line for 2 seasons now, so...
That's true, yeah. I haven't replayed a Trails game before, but this might be the time to... I might actually just replay it too, now.
Hell yeah.
That'd be pretty fun, yeah. I thought I did it on hard years ago, and then I checked the achievements. I totally didn't do that. That was 0.
Oh my. Okay, I'm really curious to hear what it's like on hard.
I started my Cold Steel 1 replay on Nightmare because I figured I'd just sweep up the trophies on my way, and I finally hit the point where just being high-leveled from New Game Plus isn't enough anymore, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
I had such a good experience playing 0 on hard, and then I played Azure on hard, and then I didn't play hard again until Reverie, where you can change it whenever you want to.
Yeah. 0 is such a well-balanced game.
0 is so good. I could talk about how that game's balanced and played forever too.
We might have to have you on for that too when we get there.
Do you think for the podcast we should just skip third and go straight to the Crossbell arc? Everyone else is doing it. Incredibly short third season. We get to the end of episode 1 and say, actually, you know what? Season 4 next week. See you then.
We did all of this just to rage bait Ashley at the end and say we're skipping it.
No! Sky third, my beloved.
We would never do that to Kevin.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ashley. It's been lovely to have you.
This has been a blast.
I'm so glad I was able to come through. This was awesome. I'm glad I got to yap about one of my favorite games.
This is Yapfuck Central, so
yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that new label. It was funny in the moment. I was like, do I want to keep calling myself that?
It makes me laugh every time, and in this day and age, You gotta take that when you get it.
Well, let's keep doing it until the time that one of us says it, and then afterwards we have to go stand quietly in a dark room afterwards. That's probably the point to stop using it.
Let's end this!
So, as for what's coming up next, we have decided that since we're doing every 2 weeks instead of weekly, we're gonna let ourselves play the full first chapter. Which is still shorter than a lot of Trails chapters. Not as short as this prologue, it's shorter than than a lot of what we've seen in SC and FC. So that's gonna be what we're doing in 2 weeks. We're gonna play the whole first chapter, which is crazy. That's twice in a row that we play full chapter.
I like to know that even with more time to work with between episodes, there's still going to be a point where we're going to have to cut these things in half because they're just so long.
Oh, I'm sure there is, yeah. I'm not sure when that is yet, but I'm sure it'll happen.
Moving forwards, as we sort of give the preview of what we're going to play next, as we've just discussed with Ashley, there's a lot of doors to take into account. So I think we'll try and kind of summarize which doors we're going to hit on any given episode. Do we have any to worry about in this first chapter?
There's one in the next chapter, but it is mandatory. You have to play it when you encounter it because it explains what doors are. So there's nothing to worry about in terms of planning what to do when.
Cool. Okay.
We're just playing the first chapter as it's presented to us.
Everything in the first chapter, but yeah, if it gets a bit more pick and choosy as we work our way through the chapters and get access to more doors, we will let you guys know.
There's also, throughout this game, there are going to be some mini games that show up that you can go back to at any point. There's a very good, we may talk about them as we play them, there's a very good chance that once we've gotten all of them, we'll have a little segment just being like, here's some of the ones that we enjoyed, or here's what we thought of them. So if you're not in the mood to play the minigames, don't worry, they're not plot critical or episode critical. You can hear what we think of them. This is one thing I do see people come up against where if they get really stuck trying to clear a minigame that they're really just not enjoying, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't torture yourself. These are jank. They're fun sometimes, but also often not fun, and they're all jank.
I think we'll probably call out when we get access to a given minigame, maybe just some very brief thoughts. But yeah, I like the idea of doing maybe a roundup and a ranking of the minigames once we've got them all.
Yeah, let's do a tier. We'll do a tier list at the end. Of course, they might all be bad tiers. I don't know yet. I don't remember. I really don't. I remember what a couple of them are, but I don't remember what they were like to play.
We can call that episode Oops All F Tier.
We'll see how that is. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to the first episode of Season 3 of Trails to Trails. And again, thank you so much to Ashley for coming on and helping guide us on this strange and scary journey.
Thank you.
For next time, we're going to be playing Chapter 1 of The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the third. We're going to see how that goes. But until then, you can find us on the Orbital Net at trailspod.online, on Blue Sky, X, and Instagram, whatever socials we have at TrailsPod, or of course on the TWG Discord, which, I mean, if you go to any of those places, you'll find a link there too, and that's usually where we're hanging out. Yeah. Thanks so much if you're new to the show for listening in, and thanks so much for everyone who's returning.
Welcome.
I've been Lex.
And I've been Matt.
And we'll catch you on the trail. Bye!
Goodbye. I'm trying a different energy this time.
Oh wow. I was just left in the dark.
I don't know. I'm just maybe we can mix it up. I feel like screaming into the mic louder and louder is maybe not the go.
maybe we'll do an ASMR style because it's more spooky this time. Bye.
Bye. Ooh, creepy. It's just I feel so jealous. Every time I listen to the Kingdom Hearts podcast, they end the episodes by saying, "Until next time, let your heart be your guiding key," which is so much sweeter than us going, "Ah!" Is there something Kevin-y we could do?
What is in his...
Go and get some. No, that's bad.
Go and get some. I love you for that, but I'm not sure that's quite it.
Let's not say that out loud ever again.
Oh, wait. He does say, it's over, in a Boston in a weird kind of almost Boston accent is one of his things. I noticed that.
Yes, that's gotta be it.
Maybe we just use his voice. Maybe we just use that as the end of every episode.
Yep. So, until we are back for episode 2 of season 3...
It's over!
TWG, the worst garbage, online.